Same. And it says we're live.
Yeah, we're live.
Now.
Yeah, it says we're live on Zoom, but it hasn't come up on YouTube yet. Oh, there it
No,
goes.
It's on YouTube.
Yeah.
All right, now we're good. All right, you guys all set?
Yep.
Okay. 49. All right, everybody, welcome to Gamerz Realm, episode 49. Your boy Chichuki's got hosting duty tonight. And we're joined by the same crews we always have. My buddy, Mr. Switch.
What's going on, guys?
The friendly KOTETSU.
What's going on, guys?
A cleanly shaved Awakened Bacon.
How's it going, meow?
And the dude with shades, Atari X.
How's everyone doing tonight?
So, who's got topics tonight? Anybody got anything? Let's jump right into it.
I have one. I have one.
KOTETSU, the floor is yours.
So, this is just something that I've always thought about. I've always talked to other people about, and I think it's a good topic piece. Well, if you guys didn't know, think it was today. They might have mentioned it yesterday, but today, a game named Astral Chain has been fully taken from Platinum Games and is now a IP of Nintendo. Now, when we think about stuff like that, it's like, oh, cool, it's a Nintendo product now. But what we don't realize is that if we ever wanted a sequel, and if Platinum Games wanted to do a sequel, they'd have to run it by Nintendo first. Like, they couldn't just say, all right, cool, let's just make a sequel. They would have to run it by Nintendo. Like, if you guys remember when they did the whole Wonderful 101, they wanted to bring that back. But Nintendo said, that's fine, but we're not funding it anymore. It's all you guys. And they raised the money, and it went to multiple platforms because it's their IP, so they can do whatever they want with it. If they wanted to do a Wonderful 102, they could because it's theirs. And I just wanted to get you guys' thoughts. And just what do you guys like? Do you think that, these companies should hold on to gaming IPs? Or do you think the developers themselves should still kind of hold ownership to these IPs so they can have the right to make sequels if they wanted to without going to the head honchos for them?
Well, honestly, I think they. Sorry, Beck. Honestly, I think they should keep the IP to an extent. So, because basically all the companies are trying to get that one big score to get in with the companies in the first place, and if they need to give up their IP so it gets made, what is it, Intel? They're not going out, right? They're just selling like Astral Chain to Nintendo.
It was Platinum Games.
Platinum, not Intel.
I don't know if they sold it to them or Nintendo was just like, okay, since it's ours and we did this, this is our IP. There's nothing, I didn't see anything that said that they sold it. All I saw was just, hey, Astral Chain is now fully a Nintendo IP. And it's just like, all right, well, that's cool. But now it's just like, if we ever wanted a sequel, and even this goes to something else too. The creator of Tekken, he was like, yo, we're down to make another Pokken 2, but we have to go through Game Freak and Nintendo to ask them, hey, can we do this? And it's up to them if they want to. They can look at the sales of Pokken DX and say, okay, well, the sales did pretty good. Yeah, you guys, we'll green light it. Or it's like, I don't know. We don't know how the sales is going. And it kind of determines that way besides, like, I think they own Tekken. So if they wanted to do, I don't think Bandai Namco fully owns that IP. So if they wanted to do Tekken, they can say, hey, we're going to do another Tekken. What do you guys think? Yeah, go ahead. It's yours. But since Pokken Tournament, because it's Pokemon, which is the trademark Game Freak and Nintendo, if they wanted to do Pokken 2, they would have to go ask. Just like now, if Astral Chain 2 was a thing, they would have to talk to Nintendo and say, oh, well, we want to do another one, can we? And Nintendo would be like, okay, let's see how it's sold. Okay, yeah, it sold this many copies, because it sold more than 1 million copies. So if they ever did want to the chances are it can, but you know, they would still have to go through that. Or if they say, yo, we want to do our own, then Nintendo would have to do something, you know, they would say, okay, fine, but we're not gonna publish it. So then they would have to raise the money again.
I mean, the question becomes, does Nintendo want to have plans with it?
Yeah.
I mean, 1 million copies. I mean, in the old days, that would have been like, okay, you get like 3 sequels and a spin-off game. But 1 million in now in 2021, is that enough to make a company want to sell their property?
And that's crazy thing you bring that up, because now it's just like, okay, well, why would they want to fully hold on to that IP if they, like you say, if they didn't have plans for it? Like if they said, hey, it's our IP, but we're going to give you guys, we're gonna start considering a 2, then that makes sense, because then they can't give it to any other, they can't give it to Sony, they can't give it to Microsoft, they can't give it to PC because it's theirs. And so, and you know, Nintendo wants to hold claim to it. But if they're just holding claim to it, it's just like, okay, well, that's
well, I have 2 theories on this, and then I'll finally let Awaken Bacon get his opinion on it. One is that it makes it easier for Nintendo to deal with the game now they don't have to gather it from Platinum anymore, because Platinum only is basically Nintendo and a couple other minor places. Like, because what did they do? Bayonetta and a couple other things.
Yeah.
Okay. So it makes it easier to deal with them. And my other, probably a better take, is that now they don't have to get it for Smash Brothers. They can just put it in Smash Brothers themselves now. So, hey, now they don't have to pay Platinum. They can just be like, hey,
this is our 6th. This is our what is it? Our 4th character, a character from Astral Chain, and everyone's gonna be like, oh my god.
I know the rumor a long time ago was that they were thinking of putting them in, but it was like the first month or 2 of the game, and they didn't know anything about Astral Chain yet. But now they own it. Yeah. So
exactly.
But, all right,
you guys covered a lot of it. I think the developers should hold on to as many IPs as they can, because when it boils down to it, they're the artists of it, and they know probably what's best for the game. Now, on the money side of it, it's a good way to know that your product is going to exist. But if Nintendo buys the copyright in the name, they can always get somebody else to do it.
True.
You know, which may not be a good thing for the developer in the long run. They can just go and replace them. You know, but if they held on to the IP, so I guess it's a cross between artistic integrity of the developer and then making money, because I'm sure they made a pretty penny off that deal from Nintendo.
Yeah, I'm sure they did.
I would hope they did.
I would hope so.
It was a really good game. Like, it was, I think Platinum Games are always trying to innovate what it means to play an action and what an action game means, you know, from all of their lines of games that they've come out with. There's always a different experience with it. And I think Astral Chain was definitely something that was totally out of nowhere. Like, no one even knew they even had this project going. And then to see the game played, and then to be able to play the game, it's just like, okay, you guys have done it again, like another awesome action game. But just like you said, it's more, I think it's, like you said, probably more of the money side, because if they were like, well, Astral Chain was good, but can we make it better and not use this company? Okay, yeah. But then now you have to have another company learn what they did and try to perfect it in the sequel. So, but you know,
yeah, they own the IP, but then they can sell it to the lowest bidder. Yeah, you're right. Oh,
but yeah,
I mean, it could also mean that Nintendo wasn't happy with certain things from it, and now they can be like, change that. Like,
yeah.
Okay.
Exactly. Yeah.
True.
What did you think of the Wonderful 101, Kotetsu? Because I am totally indifferent to the game. I tried it, hated it,
so
didn't like it at
let
all.
me just go in my little background of I'm a huge fan of Power Rangers, Super Sentai, and Kamen Rider. I think I mentioned that. So
I am too. I love
when Beautiful Joe came out, I was like, what the heck is this? And then like I loved it. And then when they did Wonderful 101, I'm like, this is Beautiful Joe, but like a whole bunch of other heroes. And it was something to get used to. But then once you get used to it and know, like once you get the basics down of like, okay, you draw, like the drawing was kind of flawed because it's like, okay, I want to use a whip, but then instead I use the claws. I'm like, okay, cool, but I want to use the whip. Or like if I wanted to, the one thing that was like super was almost the same was the hammer, the bombs, and the fists, because they all involved the circle. So you had to be precise. Like with the hammer, you had to throw the handle and then the circle. And then with the bombs, you had to do a circle and then stop at a certain point and then do the fuse. And sometimes you can't do that. But once you kind of get used to that, the combat system is just crazy because you can do a fist and then do another liner and summon a sword to do another attack. And then you can do launchers and go into, different combos. I think once you get past it, it's so much fun. So that's why I love the concept of it. And then I was talking to people, we were having a conversation and we were like, yo, this is like all of the, I forgot what they're called, but it's like all of the Japanese heroes, which is Beautiful Joe would be the resemblance of Kamen Rider. Wonderful 101 would be the resemblance of Super Sentai or Power Rangers. And then their new project, Project Go-Go, would be Ultraman. And that's gonna be like the last of it. So, but what I thought about Wonderful 101, I loved it. I got the remastered one and I'm just still having that nostalgic feeling when I played on the Wii U and just having a huge amount of fun playing it.
There was a game that I played not too long ago called Chroma Squad.
Oh, that's a good one too.
So good. I got it on something, one of my launchers. I was going to pull it up so I could get some more information on it, but it's not downloaded right now. And that was really cool as far as, Power Rangers, pretty much resemble the upgraded, turn-based combat stuff. Love
such a good game. I love it too. I love that one too.
I never played Beautiful Joe. I always liked the look of it, but I just never got a hold of it.
It's another good one.
Yeah, Beautiful Joe is an acquired taste. Let's just I don't have anything against Beautiful Joe. I remember the anime that lasted like a week on Kids WB.
Yeah, anime was kind of reaching.
Well, at that point, it's like, oh, you have a successful game? Yeah, we can make that into a show.
I think that was reaching too much, Capcom. I think Capcom was reaching too much on that one.
Boy.
I think that whole run of Power Ranger shows after the Power Rangers, you had VR Troopers, which wasn't bad.
Mm-hmm. I remember VR Troopers.
You also had Tattooed Alien Fighters from Beverly Hills, which was...
Oh, I remember that one. Oh my God.
I remember that one.
I remember
you don't remember that one?
I don't remember that one.
Oh,
and there was
crazy.
Big Bag Beetleborgs.
I remember Big Bad Beetleborgs.
That one, I don't remember. That's about it.
Yeah.
If you don't remember Tattooed Alien Fighters from Beverly Hills, their Zordon character was the guy who played Odo or whatever his name was on Beetlejuice. Remember that?
Oh, really?
Oh, that's
I have to go.
right.
I have to go.
I think now it's. I think it's slightly coming back to me. I think I remember.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a weird one, but they definitely drained that market. Power Rangers are still going, I think, as far as I know.
Yeah, they're still going.
Go ahead.
I really like the that fighting game they did last year.
Oh,
the Power for the Grid.
And like I played it vanilla. Vanilla was so bad, but it was so broken because you can go for a low combo starter and people couldn't block. I was like, why isn't anyone blocking my low combo starter? It's because there was a bug that wouldn't allow people to low block. So you can just totally just spam that and just own people. But then they fixed it. but it was developed by Enway, which Enway they did it was another game that they have on mobile, which is a huge success. So they just decided to kind of transition that to consoles, and that one is doing pretty well for themselves, which I'm hoping there's rumors that they're doing another season of characters, which I'm like, yes, just keep going. I'm like, give us Ninja Storm in there, put some Dino Thunder, put as many as you can in this game. But yeah, that was a good one. But just going back to, because we can always just go off topic and talk about a whole bunch of stuff. But there is always there's kind of two arguments when it comes to IPs, if the company should own them or the developers should own them. And for me, I do feel like the developers should hold claim to their IPs
as much as they can. Yeah. I mean, I know that money talks, and when it comes down to it, it's like, here's a ridiculous amount of money for this property. We may still let you make it and pay for you, and pay you for that, but we may not. It's not up to you anymore. I don't know. And if I was the CEO of a developer, I would have a hard time letting go of IPs just for that reason. Because I know if the game's making money, then they'll always want that game, and the publisher will always want it. So
exactly,
it's either a trickle in effect, or is it going to be a big lump sum of money in an uncertain future?
Like a prime example, Kingdom Hearts series. Kingdom Hearts. That's a good example. Like, I honestly thought that after waiting a decade, that 3 was going to be the last game. And then Disney's like, no, we're gonna make spinoffs. We're gonna do this. We're gonna make a live action spinoff show on Disney Plus, and it's like, okay, that's what they said they were gonna do that. But
if you thought Disney wasn't gonna milk a franchise for every dollar they were,
Star Wars,
you're not paying attention.
I know. I should know better.
And you kind of realize that Kingdom Hearts 3 was more towards a Disney game, because you saw no Final Fantasy characters anywhere in that, unless you played that crappy DLC that came out.
Well, is that more on Disney's part, or is that more on Square Enix's part for not letting them?
I don't know. And then because what I was thinking, because Kingdom Hearts is, like, if you think about it, Kingdom Hearts is now coming to the current generation of gaming, because it was kind of still stuck in the PS2 era until we actually got it on the PS4. So then now when it comes to something like that, when you want to expand the story, DLC, you would do DLC, but then they're like, no, we're just going to put our focus onto a full game. I'm like, cool. I don't feel like waiting another 12 years for 4, but yeah, do that. And they gave us that crappy DLC, and then they gave us the crappy spinoff.
Yeah, you got the rhythm game that you love so much.
God. I have such a rant on that. Everyone was like, yeah, we get a Kingdom Hearts game. Yeah, we get a Kingdom Hearts game on Switch. I'm like, really? Are you though? Like, are you really getting a Kingdom Hearts game on the Switch? And then they said, and then I swear to you, I almost bought the game for this, but then I looked on YouTube. They were like, someone was like, here's the full cutscene of everything else you don't see after the game. I'm like, so they put all the new stuff after the game is over, then you get to see all the new stuff with Kyrie and stuff. I was like, wow, you guys really did that. It's like, yeah, you're not getting my money for that. I just watched it on YouTube. That's the whole reason I was going to get it, was to see that. But
that's how they get other people's money, because they think you're a sucker.
But anyway, does anyone else have any points on
Kingdom Hearts
on the
rant?
topics?
That's all.
No,
no. I know
like,
you got worse rant than that.
You guys should just let me. You guys should do what we did with
like Triforce, and let him just
just let me just like go. Yeah, let me do my Kingdom Hearts crap rant.
We don't have enough time tonight to let you have a.
Oh my gosh. Well, if anyone else doesn't have anything to add, that's pretty much what I wanted to. So I thought that was a good thing to talk about.
Beautiful. I don't have anything else to add to that. I do have another topic though. All right, so I downloaded the Balan Wonderworld demo on Switch yesterday.
I'm so sorry for you.
After we had our little meeting, I was downloading it, and like 5 minutes left, we were talking because this game is one of the games that I was looking forward to getting after I saw the PS5 presentation or whenever they showed it for the first time. And oh my god,
I'm so sorry.
This is one of the worst demos I've ever played in my life.
I'm so sorry.
And
I'm so sorry.
Going in, because people on Twitter, it's like at 10 o'clock at night, there's already information about this thing that says, this is terrible. This looks like a random IP that was on Dreamcast that just got bumped in. It doesn't look anything like Square Enix. It looks like they just mailed it in. And I have to agree. I mean, the controls are terrible. The graphically, other than the cutscene, because there's a cutscene at the beginning that looks pretty good. It looks like it should for a Square Enix game. But after that, you get thrown in, basically nothing telling you what to do, nothing to figure out how to handle things. And there's characters in the first little world that disappear for like no reason. And I think it's supposed to happen because you get costumes in the game to do special moves like hover jumps and spin dashes and things like that. Minor things like that. But they're dancing characters that show you what costume it is. They disappear when you walk right past them. I was expecting to push the A button, talk to them, and they'll tell you, oh, grab this crystal to get a costume. No, nothing. And
I'm sorry, what was this game called?
This game is Ballad Wonderworld.
Ballad Wonderworld.
And it
Sounds
is
exciting.
I mean, I don't mean to sully it so much, but because there are other people online who have done this better than I have probably in a shorter amount of time than I have too. But I mean, it should have known because it's a Sega team, it's a Sonic Team game, and
that's right.
And should have known
right.
It's shit. But I'm gonna give it this. Is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna give it the benefit of the doubt and see that it's just a demo and they have a ton of bugs and stuff to just work out. Because I don't even know when it's coming out on Switch.
It's funny that when I saw that after we got off our call, someone was like, here's the demo of this game, and I'm looking at it. For the first thing I noticed as this character running as fast as he can, but going at a walking slow pace. And I'm like, okay, that has to be annoying. And then I'm just looking, I'm like, what? I'm just like, it's just nothing. He's just walking up this trail like nothing, like no NPCs, nothing. He's just walking up this path for like 20 seconds, like a boring 20 seconds. And I'm like, I was like, what is he? I couldn't see anything. I was like, so what are you going somewhere? Are you doing? But I'm hearing a lot of people are like, yo, this was it was just bad. And someone said this game had a beautifully rendered cutscene, but once you get to the game, it's just like pre-alpha or something.
I mean, I'm looking at stills of it right now because I know nothing about this, and it looks cute. I mean, it looks good.
Yeah, like it looked like a very cute game. That's what I thought it was.
It looks like a new IP from Square Enix that you'd think, okay, it's gonna come out fine. But I mean, like KOTETSU said, after the cutscene at the beginning, which looks great, by the way. I'm not gonna kill it on that. That looks like they put a lot of time in and everything. But it, I mean, it just no.
Yeah, like even when I saw it, I think it was that PlayStation 5 event that they had in September when they showed it off.
Yeah.
And when I first saw the game, it reminded me of Night. That was the vibe I got from the cutscene. I got a Night vibe from it. And like you said, it's Sonic Team. So I'm like, okay. I'll say it. Like I kind of enjoyed Forces. Forces was okay. It felt rushed, but it was okay. It's not. I think Generations is like the best modern Sonic game they could have come out with. But Forces was okay. And I'm looking at, I'm like, okay, so you just change costumes and you do different things, and I'm like, And then I was like, well, why is Square Enix doing this? But then I'm like, okay, they kind of want to venture and do experiment in other IPs and their normal bread and butter for a little while, which is understandable.
Yeah, I get that.
But I was like, and they had the demos. Like, oh, cool demos. That okay. I was like, I'm not personally going to download it, but cool for everyone who's waiting for it. And I, like I said, got off the call and I saw that, and I was just like, oh man, this is like, and it feels like a trend because, like, just with the whole quarantine thing, it's just like they don't have enough resources and stuff like that. But I mean, like, if you're gonna do a demo, even with that, I don't know.
Make it good, right? Okay, so you change costumes, you get different powers and abilities, yada yada yada, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
3D platformer, because I'm watching it, it's muted, but I'm watching kind of the
trailer,
kind of the demo of it, yeah. And it looks good. It looks good. But yeah, I can imagine. I don't know. It just looks like another game. It doesn't look very Square Enix, but like you said, Square Enix wants to do other things, and that's totally fine. You know, they don't have to be, everything they do doesn't have to look like Final Fantasy.
Yeah, I think like them getting into Marvel Avengers is just like, okay, cool. You guys are doing something different. And they have another IP, which is the Outlanders or the Outsiders or something like that, which is like a Destiny third-person-esque kind of game. And I'm like, okay, well that's fine. You have the right to explore. I'm the person who says you guys have the right to explore whatever avenue you want. As long as you keep giving me Final Fantasy games, do whatever you want. As long as I get Final Fantasy 16, I don't care. I don't care.
Well, that might be how they think too, because we'll give you Final Fantasy 16, but we're gonna come out with this too.
But you let us do this,
and it's like, I mean, the frame rate is terrible on it at times. It just when a demo feels rushed, then you have a major problem. And I was in its corner the whole time, and I'm still, unless they make major changes to it at some point, I'll probably be passing on it, which kind of bothers me because I really wanted to like it, because it's a game that I feel like that I would like.
Do you think you were disappointed with it because you were so hyped up on it in the first place?
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
I just think that that's why demos are made, so you can try it out and save probably $50 to $60.
Well, I guess what I was trying to say is that, is there a market for it, like somebody else? Like maybe it's not for you, but would somebody else like it?
Yeah, I'm sure there's a market, like a much younger demographic than ourselves here, that would probably jump all over, because what it reminds me of a cross between, Banjo-Kazooie, Mario 64, and Super Lucky Tales. Those are the three that it feels like right out of the box, and that's fine. I mean, 10 to 15-year-old kids, maybe that's a little too old even for that, but it could just be that I'm not the demographic. I'm sure I'm not.
Yeah. Well, maybe. I mean,
just,
what does that really mean anyway, right? I mean, I know I play lots of games.
It means absolutely nothing. I mean, but it just doesn't feel right.
Speaking of games that are out of demographic, and also made me think, because you changed costumes in this, does anybody remember the game The World Ends With You for DS? I loved that game. And it was all about going to different places and going to different couture stores and getting pins and different kinds of clothes that increased your abilities and stuff like that. But I love the art style of it.
That was the Final Fantasy game, right? I mean, it was like not Final Fantasy. That was the Square Enix, right?
I think
The World
so.
Ends
I
With
think
You.
so. Yeah.
I was because before I drop this on you, I just want to make sure I'm right. Okay, yeah. So if you like that game, they have a sequel coming out in the summer that's coming out for the Switch.
Yeah.
And that one makes me want to go back and play I've never played World Ends With You, but when I saw that, I was like, okay, maybe I should check this one out, because that looks amazing. So I was like, maybe I'll check this game out.
Is it Neo? The world ends with you. What's
I think
the...
so.
I think so. Yeah, I think so.
I think that's
Okay.
the title of it. But that one looks really good. And I was like, okay, well maybe I'll go back and play this one that I skipped on because the sequel looks amazing.
Yeah, I just love the art. This one looks way different though. The first
it's more
one
3D,
yeah.
The 3D aspect of it. But the combat looks really cool, so that's why I was like, oh, that always sells me. Gameplay always sells me. Everything else is like secondary. Everything's usually secondary.
Is this on the
Switch? Yeah, it's coming up.
Oh,
for
it's on the Switch. Okay, so you'll still be able to do, because in the first one, a lot of the moves had to do with different movements you were doing on the second screen. And that that's what made it cool. And I guess that's what you're talking about, the battle in this. I need to look into this more so I can know more about it. Yeah, that was the one that I really liked. I know it wasn't for me. It's probably for 12-year-old little girls. And but I played that for hours and hours and hours.
Okay, I have a question. Now that Awaken Bacon brought that up, has anyone played a game that was just like naturally just wouldn't appeal to you, but you gave it a shot and you're like, okay, this game is actually pretty cool?
For me, I think it was Pikmin. I didn't think that game would be for me or that I even like it, but I played it and loved it.
I got to go with that too. When I played the Pikmin 3 Deluxe demo, I was like, this game is actually pretty good, and I actually got into it. And I'm still planning on getting it, but yeah, I agree. Pikmin was the one I avoided until I played the Deluxe, and I was like, oh, it's actually pretty good.
Yeah, it didn't seem like it was for me. It really wasn't the games I was playing at the time at all. But I think actually my brother picked it up, and I was like, okay, let's give it a shot. And just the mechanics of it, I fell in love with it. And that made me get the sequel, which wasn't as good. I don't think. I don't really remember. It was a long time ago, but that was one of them. That's my choice too. Just one that I picked up and played that I just knew for a fact I wasn't going to like, but loved it.
Interesting. I think I have to go with it's a hard one. Bloodstained, probably the the PS4 one. The more that's like the Curse of the Moon or whatever the thing is. Because I'm not usually a fan of Metroidvania too often, but I love that game.
I have to give that a shot. I haven't really given it a shot. The only Castlevania game I've truly loved is Symphony of the Night. I like the first one. I like the second one and the differences between the two. Simon's Quest being more of a quest game, but as far as Metroidvania games, they weren't called that back then. But Symphony was definitely my favorite one. But Bloodstain is made by the guy who originally did Castlevania, right? Yeah, I think it's on Game Pass, so I might have to just give it a shot.
Do you guys have Switch and Atari? Do you guys have
Tempest 2000 for the Atari Jaguar? It was like an 80s game that at the time when I got my Jaguar, I wanted to play Aliens versus Predator, and I was like, oh, Tempest, some stupid 80s game. I don't want to play that game.
That was the one with the Vectrex void like in the middle and you're shooting towards the center.
And one of the best soundtracks ever. They even released a soundtrack on CD because it's that good. And I'm to this date I still play Tempest. And I don't play Aliens versus Predator anymore. I every time I pick up the Jaguar, it's Tempest. And I thought I hate the game. I paid $5 for it. It's one of my favorites.
Nice. What about Switch?
Yeah, Switch. I was just gonna ask both of you guys what you were gonna say, but KOTETSU beat me to it.
Atari can go first.
Oh, he did.
He did.
Your topic? That was it.
No.
He answered KOTETSU's question.
Yeah, we're asking what was the one game that you thought wouldn't be for you, but you end up enjoying it. And we all answered, and Atari answered.
What have we been enjoying right now? Or
like a general passion game, like you bought a game and you thought, oh, I don't think I'll like this game, and actually it's one of your favorites. Or you really like it.
a game that Crisis Remastered.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say something like that. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm
Okay.
sorry, that was a piece of shit. Forget it. I don't want to. I'm just gonna be pissed off talking about that crap because now I am. Now I am. Fuck. I'm sorry. Now I'm getting mad. I'm like,
I don't know how you
Maybe
played.
I shouldn't have asked that question.
I don't know how you played that game that long when it.
I don't. Yeah.
I don't get it. Here's the thing. I love Nintendo, but they fuck up in a lot of shit, and I'm tired of it. They keep bringing all these big games into their tiny little system that can't handle it, dude. I love Nintendo Switch, but don't bring in these games that can't run on your shit. Don't do that. You know, I'm just saying because
that's the developer's fault.
it was hard to,
Yeah.
or they have to make sure if you're bringing in that, make sure it works for it because they let it out just like they let out Cyberpunk all messed up, but the whole thing was so messed up. The experience was that I actually was so mad that I got my money back for it. It was a bot off the
eShop.
eShop. I never done it before, and I don't like to do that. You do that, but I had to because it works so bad. It plays so. It looked great, and there's parts where like, oh yeah, the action's getting intense, and then everything started going real slow. I'm like, oh
Just
shit.
frame dips.
It just started getting slow, the frame rates and all that, and it was just a bad experience. And then I played almost to the very end, and I think I was at the boss at the very end. Yeah, it was the final fight, and it was endless. You couldn't do anything. Like you would die and die and die and die. Or I went around, tried everything. Then it would freeze. I don't know how many times throughout the time you were playing. It was shut off. I don't know how many times, but it's Nintendo's fault. No matter what it is, whoever does all this and that, you got to make sure your shit works good. Don't let it out, or don't bring it in because I'll wait for your Pro to come out. Don't get all like excited. You got such good stuff right now, your Animal Crossing or your Zeldas and all that. Don't bring in this other stuff that played well on something else. And maybe if they would have waited for Crisis, I bet you would play so awesome on that new Switch Pro. Watch it. Watch that game come, and I'm not even going to bother with it, but I'm sure it will play well. I would have played it at its worst, but anyways, I'm good.
I bet it's still going to play like crap.
Yeah. Even like
the developer sounds like shit.
Yeah. It just like Chichuki said, that's on a developer. Like if developers they have to test it on Switch. And then sometimes they test it on the Switch, like, oh yeah, it works fine. But then they don't realize that whatever optimized Switch that you have that works your stuff, we don't have that same kind of, we don't have that. So what you guys are looking at, we're not seeing it. Prime example, I always use as an example for when you port huge games over to the Switch, WWE 2K18 worked horribly on the Switch. Like, I mean, that developer is already like crap anyway, but the fact that they tried to bring it over the Switch, it was just so bad. It was so bad. I was surprised The Witcher 3 worked well on the Switch. I was really surprised about that.
Wow.
But it's just like you said, they have to really think about it. Like really think about like when everyone's like, yeah, they're gonna bring over Kingdom Hearts 3. I'm like, you realize how good that game looks on the PS4? It's not gonna look like that on the Switch. So let's not ask them to do that. Leave them alone. Maybe like it will probably, it'll get there, but yeah, they shouldn't do that. But
maybe
anyway.
If they can bring The Last of Us, please.
The developer
they can keep
has
that
to
over
look at, it's like how many people have PlayStations, how many people have Xboxes, and how many people have Switches. I would say that probably more people, us and then casual gamers have Switches. So they're like, well, we want to develop this for that system, even though we know it's not going to work right. We know this, but if we make it, and it's getting the hype that it's getting from the other systems, people will buy it. It may not be great, it may be playable, and people are going to complain about it, but they're still going to make it, because it's money.
Yeah,
exactly.
True. But it's always the watered down version, the biggest joke version.
Yeah, because it's harder to dumb down a game. Like it's way harder to dumb down a game for a certain console. It's way harder. And the Switch exactly that.
Because remember, like when Wii was out and then PlayStation 3, you had PlayStation 3 games, 720p games, 1080p games, but then a Wii game would come out, like you were saying, like WWE games. I remember, 480p, and it just looked so watered down, looked so weak because Nintendo always just, they go for profit. When they sell a system, they're making profit, where Sony and Xbox, they actually lose money when they sell consoles. Nintendo actually profits, but Nintendo makes more of a, lower end product. Just, they make good games, but their product is always lower powered systems. And
I think they had to start doing this where they had to make 2 different versions. Like I think one game I can think of, or 3 games I can think of. No, actually 2 games I can think of. I can think of Jedi Unleashed looked amazing on the, PS3 and Xbox, but then they had to make their own I think they had another developer make that same game for the Wii and for the PS2 because they couldn't handle that. And I think the same with Sonic Unleashed. They had to make two different developers had to make that game. So I think they're not trying to go that route anymore. They're just trying to see if they could dumb it down. But you're right. They shouldn't. If they can't do it, don't bother.
Yes, just stay out of that lane. That's all they gotta do. Stick to what they know best, making good, fun games.
Yeah, their cartoony aspect has always been their powerful. That's where Nintendo, their Star Fox, Mario, stuff like that. As soon as they start getting real, the very few games. But another quick note on the wrestling game. So we talk about, they're on the PS2, 3, 4, Xbox. But back in the 90s, they made the best ones on the Nintendo 64. You had, Revenge, No Mercy, and all that. They had it figured out, and that was what were they called? What was the developer called?
Was it THQ?
THQ, and they had like Jax or something.
Was it THQ? I think it was THQ.
THQ.
There's another one.
It's THQ, and then there's some other developer.
Any other day I would know it off the top of my head.
Yeah.
But yeah, stick with the cartoony stuff. That's always their best bet. Oh, but you know what a good game was I think it was for GameCube, was Eternal Darkness. And that was not a cartoony game. That was.
Hey, I was right. Jax Pacific was the other.
Okay.
But I think I'm done adding to your topic, Chichuki.
You're done adding to my topic?
Yeah,
I
think I'm done adding.
Good on that one?
Well, now I'm gonna peel off of your topic.
Next topic.
Game that you thought you'd like, but you hated.
Oh, that was going to be my question.
Oh shit!
Segment 11. Shut up, everybody. You're wrong.
God, that's a hard one. Like a game. Oh, go ahead, Switch.
Oh man, I bragged about it before it came out. I was loving it for the first hour, and then I just shit my pants. Like, oh, screw this! Freaking, they killed Joel. Are you serious? They killed Joel in The Last of Us 2, and
that was like the most memorable part. Like when I saw that, my heart stopped.
Yeah,
and I was like, yo, they killed them. And then like the rest of the game was just like, I thought it was good because they wanted to really focus on Ellie. They wanted to focus on Ellie.
I loved a lot of it too.
To kind of take off that part of, because like if you realize that when they killed Joel, that changed Ellie's character through the entire game, and then she had a lot of regrets. That if you remember, like she had a struggle with Joel, that they had this weird thing about him after a certain amount of time, and then when he died, she had a lot of flashbacks, and
I like that. I liked everything with Ellie. Yeah, all of it was good.
Yeah,
but I didn't like I think they could have dragged it. I mean, to a lot more other games with Joel before they killed him off or something like that. They could have done something even more amazing, because we all ended Last of Us 1, loving both characters, but I loved Joel the most. And then of course that was a shocker to us. But
that's why they did it.
I didn't like I felt like it was so realistic even when I was playing the game, and there was a scene where they had the pregnant lady. She was so like 9 months pregnant, and then she started climbing this like something like this metal thing, and I was like, "Oh shit, you're gonna kill your baby!" I was like, really like no, you're gonna hold on. I'm sorry if you guys hear noise. My son's slamming doors, little 1-year-old. So the thing is that she was. I was like, "Oh man, how's she doing that?" And then the pregnant woman who was 9 months pregnant or so, she was climbing a really long rope and shooting zombies and everything. I couldn't see that, and her putting the baby in so much danger. But I understand the times, but I was kind of lost in it. But that was just a little part there. I mean, then it was hard because then they killed her off. They shot her. I think shot her in the, and Ellie killed her. I was just shocked. It had lots of shock, but at the same time, I loved it and then also hated it. And now it's not a game to me. I will never play it again. I'll stay to number 1. That's it. The only one means a lot to me. And if they could put number 1 on the Switch, I'll never happen. But if it ever did, I don't care about playing the PS5 anymore, period. But that's my son's. I wouldn't give it away. I'd sell it if it was mine. I'd be like, see ya, but it's his. But that's why I want.
Sell it to me. I'll buy it.
Yeah, hock it. That's your red money. Hock it.
That's the only thing that. Yeah. So all right, I'll stop it there.
So when they bring Joel back in the third one, because
he's gonna. Yeah. I told my son he's gonna come back. He's gonna have a robotic half face and a robotic leg. He's gonna come back. I know it.
He was just in a coma.
Death means absolutely.
He didn't really die.
In video games.
It was a dream.
In video games.
They can do that. They can do that.
It was just a bad dream.
Oh my
Alternate
God.
universe.
I hope so.
Okay, I'll tell you mine. It's embarrassing.
Yeah.
You ready for it? Michael Jackson's Moonwalker for the Sega Genesis.
Oh,
I get it. I get it.
I played it at the arcade. It was a fun game at the arcade, and I bought it, and it was like a totally different port. And I'm like, I'm like, where the hell I have this like monkey telling me where to go. I'm like, where? Up. I go up, and then it's like go down. Then I go down, and it's like go this way, and then going that way. And then this boss comes out, and I'm like, walk up to it, and he kills me before I even do anything. I was like, oh my God. And then I had to go. You had to open every stinking door to find these kids. Say, Michael. And,
oh my God!
It's like looking back at Moonwalker. You should have seen all the signs.
And the kid go like right up to his waist. But yeah, you have to find every single kid, and you hit the wrong door. Oh, here's a bomb! Boom! Half your life's gone.
Did you watch the movie before you got the game?
No, I actually played the arcade at the Wisconsin State Fair, and I was like, "Oh, this game's kind of cool." And then they said it's coming out for the Sega Genesis. They do arcade ports. So I'm like, "Oh, I'm gonna get my Moonwalker. I ain't gonna tell anyone, but I'm gonna get this game because it was cool at the arcade." And yeah, it sucked.
I was gonna go there, but I'm not.
Go there.
I was gonna go there, but I'm not. I'm not gonna go there.
Come on, rest in peace, Michael.
Okay, so I think my game is Anthem. When that game had so much hype around it, and it looked the E3 demo looked so good, where it was like, yo, this is Destiny and freaking Iron Man combined. Like that's what I thought, and it looked really cool. It's better now, but when I bought it, it was just like, yo, like what is going on? Like it's too grindy. It felt like there was no real progression to a certain point, and the real progression isn't, and you don't get to the real good stuff until after the fact. And you can't even try to get to the good stuff early because you're gonna die until you get better stuff. But it was hard to get better stuff. And I was just like, yo, man, like this game is just it's too grindy for me. So I was like, nah, I stopped playing it. But it's better now. Like they heard everybody and they fixed the bugs, and there's supposed to be some big update coming where they fix a lot of the progression. But back then it was just like it was kind of a mess. It was kind of a mess. But I'm glad that they saw that and they fixed it.
didn't even play it, and I know how terrible it was.
I went to Chichuki. I haven't played it, but I've seen it played, and I've seen the reactions of people, and
it looked so good though, because it was like it was just how they presented it, and I think that's how they get you. Is how they present. Cyberpunk is another example. How they present it is just how they get you, and then it's totally different from when you get your hands on it. I mean, when you first get your, I forgot what they're called. Like I'll call them exos. It was just really cool. They made it feel like it was like an open world sandbox, but you couldn't go anywhere. Like the map made it look, when you look at the map, it's like, yo, there's all these places. You have one huge open area, and then everything is like closed in, like to the point where it's like you feel like you're claustrophobic with how much some of the areas were so closed in, you couldn't experience it. And if you try to go too high, it's like, oh, the storm is pushing you back down. Like, what do you mean it's pushing me back down? And then like if you can't like go down to the depths of anything, and they'll say, oh, you're leaving the area, and they get all gray. I'm just like, so you're locking me out just by going out this far? So it was just too many restrictions for that. And I felt I didn't feel robbed, but I just felt like it was huge miscommunication on how they presented the game. And, they didn't really talk about their loot system or anything. Like, oh, the loot system was so bad. They fixed it now to where you can get good loot in the game, but before it was just so hard, and it was kind of pay to win heavy, too.
Yeah, that's what I remember.
Like if you wanted to get certain weapons, if you wanted to get certain cosmetics, you had to buy them. You couldn't do anything to get them, and I was just like, that's kind of sucky. So, yeah, I'm just gonna stop. And then now the game's better, but.
How many years in are we into Anthem now? How many years ago did that come out?
19.
It's only like
19?
19.
Yeah.
2 years ago. All right. So
yeah.
So you have to understand, E3 demos are basically trying to get you in the door. They want you to look at the game, and they make it look as gorgeous as humanly possible. Little do we all know that it's garbage and everything. And my main argument with Anthem is, so you said it's a sandbox game that you can't go anywhere. And that is not a good selling point for anything, let alone a sandbox game. And then didn't they make it free like half a year in?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there you go. That's how how you know they know it's shit.
Yeah, like I got it day one, and then it was just like cool, and then like and this was crazy, like everyone thought it was dead because no one heard anything from them. But what they were like kind of huddling to say, how can we fix this? And then I think like someone was trying to convince me, like when I used to work at my old job, I used to go on the Fox lot and deliver. The guy who's like, yeah, you go let's play Anthem. I'm like, no. He's like, yeah, come on, man, let's just play Anthem. We play Anthem. I'm like, no. And then he was like, I was like, look, just re-download it, we're all gonna play, I got people who are gonna play. I'm like, fine. So we go to the part where I can't get past. I still can't get past it. He's like, why are you dying so much? I'm like, because I can't get past this part. He's like, oh, how long have you playing? I was like, I played for like 2 weeks and I stopped playing this game. It's been like 6 months since you asked me to start playing this game. There's no way I'm gonna be anywhere where you guys are at. So
yeah, that was weird. It like went dead. It went dead for like no reason. And then they came out, and then they said, oh, by the way, we're making it free. F you to all the people who bought it.
Yeah, sorry about that. They didn't even offer them anything like extra.
No, I don't think they did.
No. And I got the deluxe edition too because I was so hyped about it.
Oh, so you got double middle fingers.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. And that's what sucks too. And it's funny. I felt like I don't know if you guys remember the whole No Man's Sky where everyone was there was so much hype around No Man's Sky, and then that game did the same thing. And I was like, yo, that sucks for everyone who bought this game. I was on the other side of that when I got Anthem. I was on the other side of that.
Okay, so my turn.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, I have two really because there's different levels of of being upset with the hype of a game compared to when you play it and you're like, oh, this sucks, or it's not as good as I wanted it to be. So I'm going to say what they both are, and then we can talk about it. The first one was the first Watch Dogs.
Okay.
You know, it looked great. It looked like a completely just really glossy game. You know, the promotion for it looked really good, and then when the game came out, it looked completely different. The gameplay I kind of enjoyed, but wasn't as fun as I thought it was going to be. It was a little kind of generic. You know, it's like, what really can you do with your phone? You know, I mean, I know it's a video game, but it didn't impress me as much as I wanted to be impressed. But the big one, and it's kind of a stock game that everybody was upset with, was Colonial Marines.
Yes.
You know, when you saw that, you were like, yes, this is going to be the Aliens game that's going to, you know, blow all the dusty crap off that's going to make them all look good. It turned out to be Alien Isolation. But at the time, it was Colonial Marines. And I don't know what happened. I've heard a few theories. You know, they employee changes, money problems. It was in development for too long before it came out. You know, it was promised at a certain time. It kept getting pushed back. But that was the biggest piece of feces I ever played that was supposed to be great. You know, it just wasn't. You couldn't
say
anything.
The biggest pile of shit. Is that what you said?
Yeah.
Yeah, he cleaned it up for our younger audience who are watching us right now.
We're rated M right now. We're rated.
All right, that was the biggest piece of shit I ever played.
Oh yeah,
there you go. Hot take right there.
Yeah, right. I can agree with you with Watch Dogs.
Yeah, you think so? Because I feel like that's kind of an unpopular opinion. You know, a lot of people did like it, but I just thought it was going to be something else. That might have been the biggest problem. I thought it was going to be something else, and it turned out to be different. You know, so I was all hyped about it, bought it, played it, just didn't like it. You know, it just didn't do anything for me. You know, but that could have been on me. You know, but there was no excuse for Colonial Marines. I still have it.
It's like collecting dust, like a relic that's just collecting dust right there.
Much.
Yeah, it's stuck back there somewhere.
Oh man.
No, I could agree. I could agree with Watch Dogs. I mean, I think people try to look at something and be like, "Oh yeah, that game didn't suck that much," but then it's like, no.
I think it had the what turned into the Cyberpunk 2077 disease. You know, it was overhyped and looked to be something else, and when it came out, it was something a little different. It didn't quite live up.
Was. It was just hype.
Honestly, I don't think Cyberpunk had anything different that anyone didn't say it wasn't going to have. I think it had everything that it had.
Yeah.
I think that it's just the company didn't expect to not finish it. It's like, I mean, they Project CD Red.
Yeah, Project.
Yeah,
Project CD
same
Red.
Same ones that did Witcher. The Witcher.
I always forget like the last two letters of it. Or
Me too.
Whatever. But it's like if they didn't get called out for the working crunch online, then they would have been doing the same thing. It wouldn't have come out right away. I mean, they pushed it back like 7 times.
Yeah.
And
it's supposed to be out earlier last year.
No, it was supposed to be out like I think a little after E3 last year.
Yeah.
Whatever. But then they get called out on that. Then they say they're not doing that. Then they say they are doing that. Then you get the initial reviews, which no one really got except for like 2 companies that they handpicked.
Yeah.
Which is always when companies don't send out review units, that's a sign that people who rate can tell that it's not gonna be good. Because I remember, I think Sonic Boom did the same thing, that they didn't send review units out to the public.
I'm sorry, I take back my anthem. Sonic Boom was the game I regret buying when I did.
No, sorry, you can't take back your answer. We already had a nice little chat about it.
You've already turned in your paper. It's done. You can't change your answers.
The professor has already marked a sad frowny face on your test, and that said, "Oh, see me after class." And then when you tell the professor that you have Stadia, then he's really disappointed in you.
Oh, my
Hey, I said
Throw that away.
I did not get it. I said I was going
He
to.
secretly has
I had
it.
a feeling. I had a feeling that I had this weird feeling. I said I'm gonna get my money back, and I did. And I almost got the founder's pack. I got my $150 back when I got it back.
That's the story you like to tell.
If you had gotten that
founders
pack, I would hope you wouldn't tell us that you got that thing. That I'm telling you.
I probably wouldn't. I probably
yeah,
would
of course you wouldn't, because you know I'd ride your ass on it the whole time.
I wouldn't have said anything.
But it's like, what the hell are we talking about? Oh yeah, the Cyberpunk.
Yeah.
That it's like, I mean, it's probably going to bankrupt the company at this point.
Definitely.
That they failed. That they failed so bad, and now the other day they bring out the mod kits to make the game better because they don't want to do it.
I was playing it for a while. I was playing it, enjoying it for a little bit on the PS5, but of course there were still things. But I finally gave up on it. So did my son, and he says he'll play. My son says he'll play it in a year. So okay, we'll play it in a year.
I have never played it. I've seen it twice at E3. Don't
even get it. Don't even bother.
Yeah,
well, I don't have a great way to play it anyway. I mean, I'm not going to get it on PS4 because it's terrible. I'm not going to get it on PC because my PC probably doesn't run well enough to make it look good. But basically, Cyberpunk is what they said it was going to be. It's going to be a dystopian world where gangs are going to destroy. It's like Escape from New York or Escape from Los Angeles. It's a torn down society where gangs are there, and it just so happens that you can create your character's genitalia. It's like,
why add that? Like, that killed me every single time.
Because it's why thing.
Shot
to answer the question, what is it like to have a vag and a scrotum at the same time?
That's because they know if they do it, then we'll talk about them doing it, and then they'll be like, "Oh, good on them! We're proud of them for letting men choose to have a vagina because they're actually women."
When you got a guy character on there, and of course, you give him the big penis you want to give him, and then there's a sex scene in the game, which there is on there. You can see the girl's her butt, you can see her a little bit of her, her vagina. You can see it all there. But for him, when the thing's happening, you cannot see his. It's like he has a vagina when they're having sex. It's so weird. The game
because they don't want to go that far.
Well,
if you get that intense and you give him all those parts, just you're trying to show sex, just show it, But then they give him a vagina when he's doing it with that girl. It's stupid.
Look,
it's all retarded,
if the company doesn't do it, we won't talk about it. I have no problem with them putting whatever they want in the game. I mean, because basically they're cyborgs at this point in the game. But I have no problem with that. And the problems I have is that you rush out a game with bugs out the ass. Like, why I was not saying ass. I mean, see, look what you guys have done to me. But it's like, if you rush out a game, then when people complain to you about it, you say no, it's fine, and then a month later you come out with mod kits so people can do your job for you.
Or they come out with a video explaining why the game was so bad and giving us promises of what's gonna come the next few months. I swear, when I felt so bad for them. I was like, you guys are giving everyone more ammo just to rack on you.
I mean, look, it's fine. I mean, if they want to try and say what they say, that say face and everything. Another problem I have with it is that they're going like guns ablazing on the people who sue them for everything, which is like, if you're trying to save face, you can't take people to court for this. Because you're wrong.
Yeah, take your lickings and.
I mean, is it because they're? Oh, sorry, I'll just finish with this. Is it because they're a Polish company and they don't understand what's going on, or that they just don't care?
Real quick, we're a little past. We're like an hour and 3, so let's keep on rolling. Just so you guys know the time.
We're not ending. We're going forever tonight. That's it.
We're going for
all night.
Yeah, we don't have any guests here.
No guests. No person complaining about our time.
Who need to get out of here in 30 minutes.
Who's got to have dinner? I know I'm good. I don't have to.
I'm wonderful.
Okay.
Good. Already had dinner.
Yeah, me too.
We got that Hello Fresh kit this month. I mean, we don't get them all the time, but a friend of my wife's gets them, and then she gets a coupon for a free one every month, and they gave it to us, and that stuff is awesome. Like the sauces and stuff they give you to mix on it. My daughter made it. She made dinner yesterday and today using that stuff, and it's the best thing I've ever had.
Yeah.
Fantastic. I played a game yesterday. It was an indie horror game called Murder House.
Ooh.
And it was really cool. It gave 80s horror movie vibes and tropes, definitely.
Okay.
And at first I was like, this sucks, because it had the dolly camera system, so you would walk in a straight line, and then the camera you couldn't control, but it would move, like it was on a dolly and they were making a movie. Kind of cool.
Okay.
But about a quarter of the way through the game, I realized, because I was like, I don't like this. And plus it had the fuzz, like it was a VHS tape, which is kind of cool. It even had the tracking warning at the beginning. But then I realized you could turn that shit off. And I was much more happier with it. And you could change it from dolly camera to first person. And then after that, I had a blast. And it really did come off like an 80s like horror movie. I loved it. It's a little indie game. I came across it. How did I come across it? I don't know. However these things happen. And I found it, and I played it all day yesterday, and beat it. It was great. It was like watching a really bad, cheesy 80s horror movie, only you got to play it in video game form. So if you ever come across that, I don't think it was very expensive. I think it was like $6, $9 or something like that. It was a good time. Definitely worth a playthrough. So I guess that brings me to my question. Not a game you were expecting or disappointed with, and not a game that you were thinking you were going to disappoint and hated, but a game you didn't know anything about, and you discovered it and you played it, and it was either good or bad. And what were your thoughts on that?
I go with McKids for Sega Genesis. I actually like that game. I thought it was gonna be terrible, a McDonald's video game, and it was decent. It's like a hidden passion game of mine.
Really? That's interesting. I played it. I barely remember. Like I rented it for a weekend when I was, back in the day, and it was all right. I mean, it had McDonald's on it, and I think we were getting McDonald's that night for dinner. So
yeah,
let's get McKids.
The McDonald's game be like an all right game. I think I paid like I think it was like $5 in the budget bin at Software Etc. at the Regency Mall. It was like clearance game, like $5.
Talk about a game that came from a food franchise. McKids was great, but it wasn't the Noid.
Mm-hmm.
The Noid for NES.
I like Yo Noid.
Yes, Yo Noid was fun, man. 7-Up Spot was cool too.
Yeah, I like 7-Up.
Can I skip this question, because I can't think? Every game I've kind of run into, or I've run into them, but they haven't come out yet, and I'll say, oh, this actually looks pretty cool. I've never had done a buy like that. Or actually, no. Okay, no, I haven't. I say Chroma Squad. Chroma Squad was the game that I say that with, because I kind of ran into it and I was like, what is this? And it just had the resemblance of the Power Ranger thing. I was like, oh, yep, buying it, and I just got it. Yeah,
that's a good one. Because between Epic Game Launcher, does anybody have Epic Game Launcher?
Yeah,
I think I do. Yeah,
I have it.
It's the awesome thing about that is they give you a free game every week, sometimes more. If you have a Twitch Prime account, or if you have Amazon Prime, you have Twitch Prime, and they give free games every month. So that's a good way to discover games that you would never normally play.
True.
you know, and then you go through Steam and you find some of the, I'm into indie horror games, so I'll look through those, and sometimes they're super cheap. So I don't really have a problem finding stuff that I never heard of, probably wouldn't have bought, but I buy it anyway because it looks like something. Another one was Death Bloom. That was on Steam. That was something I just picked up and I was like, what is this? And it turned out to be great.
Let's see, a game that I didn't know anything about and that I have. I streamed Derailed, that one of my stream followers told me about. That was interesting on the Switch, on the eShop. And then a game I'm playing now that I know nothing about, or very little, is Final Fantasy 3 or Final Fantasy 6.
Okay.
US one is on the Super Nintendo. I knew nothing about it. I still don't know that much about it because I'm like about, I don't know, maybe 10 minutes in, even though it's like 15 hours. But I'm having a great time with it. But I didn't play it when I was a kid, and that if I didn't have the Super Nintendo Mini, I wouldn't have been playing it now because I'm not going to find it.
Right.
And if I did, I don't want to blow a ton of money.
Right.
So.
Gotcha. That was a game that I was really into back in the Super Nintendo days. And I never really played the first two, or what. I don't think we were given the first two in their true form. We got the Mystic Quest or something that was supposed to be kind of a watered down version of Final Fantasy, and then all of a sudden they gave us 3, which was their 6. But the look of 3 when it came out, it just spoke to me, and got it and played it back when I was, I don't know, 14, something like that.
Yeah, I got Super Nintendo late, and I never grabbed it when I was a kid.
Yeah, my brother had one, so I had the Sega Genesis, and my brother had the Super Nintendo. So between the two of us, we got a little of everything back then.
Yeah, similar with us. We had the Super Nintendo and the Sega Genesis. We had pretty much all of them at that point. That we just went to town on. We didn't have that many for each one, but we did have both of them.
Yeah, same.
So Switch, I know you want to talk about Metroid Prime 4 because apparently you have news for Metroid Prime 4.
Oh! Actually, wait. I got a lot of several things to talk about, but there's a Atari.
Several things to talk about.
I think he should go before because I got some things to talk about. Yes.
Oh boy.
Okay.
Ooh, look at that. So,
I mean, I'm sure X has have you answered the question yet? What was the game that you discovered that you?
You said it was McKids.
That's how we got
McKids.
Yeah.
That's right.
McKids.
But yeah, there's other stuff. Let's see, what else can we talk about? Oh, Intellivision. I'm going to be doing a video on Intellivision since we had some guests on last week. He's coming out with his new system, so I figure I'm going to go back and play the original. So,
oh, nice.
I'll be doing a review on Astro Smash for the Intellivision.
Oh yeah,
nice.
Yeah. Oh,
definitely be an awesome homage to this new one coming in.
Oh yeah, definitely. So I'll be doing a review on all the classics, and if they're watching right now, if you want some games reviewed, I'll do it. Just send me a message. Let me know which ones.
I sent them. Hopefully they're watching.
He's putting his resume in for QA tester, you guys.
Hey,
this is his resume right here.
I would like you to do a review for Night Stalker. Are you going to put that in your video?
I can do it.
That'd be cool. I'd like to know more about that.
I'll do Midnight Mutants for the 7800. I'm almost done with my 7800 collection. I'm just one game away. Tank Command. Anyone watching, if they own Tank Command, get a hold of me. I'll pay you $200 for it on the spot. But yeah, other than that, you're right, Switch.
Oh, you're not gonna talk about your room tour on your room at all, or you said you had something?
My room. Well, it's still
not
tour,
done.
Like, well,
how's it coming?
Basically, it's coming. Just a little snag. My one of my switchers isn't working, so I had to go on eBay. So this piece of junk, I had to fix this on a later date. So getting another switcher. Once I get that up, I'll give you guys a tour of my room. Hopefully, real soon. I have I have a couple of upscalers, and then I have probably, I think, about 30 systems. I got Neo Geo, Dreamcast.
You got like over 100 systems. Holy moly! When you showed us the other yesterday,
Yeah, I got
that was awesome.
But yeah, if you know, and you guys let me know which ones you're kind of interested. If you never saw, like, you know, the original Famicom,
Got a museum in
that
there.
one. Yeah, yeah, definitely. Because you know, like the original Zelda, on the Famicom, you had to one of the enemies, you had to scream into your controller to kill him. Where in the
that was
US,
a thing back then.
Yes.
Yeah, it actually had a
I'm really
microphone
young.
on it. And then there was like original karaoke on the Famicom. So like Nintendo in Japan is way different than Nintendo is in the US. They had Power Ranger games were out way before we knew about Power Rangers.
Oh yeah, of course, because they had Super Sentai then, and then they
didn't that come out in the late 70s, like 78?
Yeah,
when they started over there.
We got.
I forgot
they're on like their 18th series. You know,
I forgot what they were called, but yeah, like when we got Mighty Morphin, they had that was like their. I think
wasn't
Mighty
it called
Morphin,
like Yo-Yo Rangers or Yo Rangers, something like that?
Mighty Morphin was called I think it was called Zoo Rangers. I think they're called Zoo Rangers, but I think that was like their 5th. No, I think it was like their 9th or 10th season out there, but it was like the first time we got it out here.
Yeah, it sounds about right.
Yeah, it was up there. It was more than 3. Because I was watching something on that, and it was either like 10, 11, something like that, like way up there. Before we got a whiff of it. I was so excited about the Power Rangers, even as I think I was 16, 17, something like that when it came out. It wasn't my age demographic, but I was like, a live action Voltron? Are you fucking kidding me? Yes, I'm down for that. Let's do it. I'm watching it. I'm watching every one of them.
That's true.
Yeah, what a great show. Because I mean, it was like,
loved it.
You know, you had the action, and then you had the other part of the show where it was like, you know, like almost like Saved by the Bell, where it's so corny and it's just all mixed into one. American pop culture and Japanese pop culture just combined, making great TV.
We have to have another segment with me where I talk about the Power Rangers and how I felt like there's an era where they kind of just went in this weird decline of cheesiness. I'm not going to talk about it now because I want to hear what Switch has to say with his Metroid Prime stuff. We got to do one where I talk about that stuff because I have a huge rant about that too. Just assign me a block where I could just rant about stuff.
We're not going to give you an hour and a half on Power Rangers. We can give you
just give me 25 minutes. I can get it done.
We can do that. Yeah.
Yeah, we could give me 25 minutes. I could go off a little on Power Rangers myself.
Same.
All right.
Let's do it.
You guys ready for me?
Yeah, we're ready.
Sure.
All right. I got a few things. Some of them are off. One of them is actually off game just because I'm excited for it.
No, go ahead.
You guys have definitely been hearing about Matrix 4. I'm excited for that. I've been watching, like, looking up things recently, looking at Keanu Reeves and he's doing a lot of filming with it. They should pretty much be done with it. But I just heard about the TV series now coming on to HBO Max. And you guys heard of that at all? If not, I mean, I just think that's really awesome.
Wait,
I haven't heard of the series, but I
there's a Matrix.
There's going to be a new series based on.
I thought there was just a 4.
No, there's going to be a 4 movie, and I just heard it today that there's going to be a series on HBO Max.
I know that Matrix 4 is going to be one of those movies that's released in theaters and HBO Max.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Same time.
Yeah. They have a list of all their movies that they're doing and they're all Warner Brother movies. So Warner Brother and HBO have always been like gone hand in hand for a little while.
They got that new one.
Godzilla Kong is going to be on there when it comes
out. So they said there's going to be a list of movies, and one of them, which I'm excited for, is the Mortal Kombat that's coming out. Like they've already shown
I saw that.
Yeah, I wanted to see that.
They shown shots of that. I'm like, yo, that you guys are already making this look better than the old school move, like because just
I was
all
watching
of
the old
their
school the other
shots
day. I was like,
just look
Terrible.
good.
Well, the first
What was
Mortal
I
Kombat movie's
watching?
not terrible. The
Yeah,
second
first
one's
one's
awful.
not
Second
bad,
one's
yeah.
terrible.
Second one's terrible.
Second one,
one's
they were
awful.
trying. Second one, they were just trying too much, and that's another thing I'll need a block rant about video games and movies. But I'm gonna let Mr. Switch do his thing.
you know
I'm gonna
what
shut
bothers me real quick about
Shut
Mortal
up.
Kombat? That scene in I think the first movie where I said Luke is going. Shoot, if I know the characters right, he's fighting Reptile in that scene, but he's with Johnny Cage, and Johnny Cage, where the fuck was he the whole time? He looks over, and as he jumps in there, and then the whole thing's with him when he could have helped him kick the other guy's ass. I was like, I was watching it the other day. Like, what was I watching then? I like the scene, but he still got his ass kicked, but he still beat the guy with his cool kick stuff.
They don't
But
do
still,
kill
Johnny Cage is
scenes
like,
in Mortal Kombat.
so that
I'd
happened.
have been like, where you been?
Yeah,
You
Yeah,
were
it's like
watching
I
me
would have
fight
been so
him all
pissed.
day.
I would have.
Yeah.
You were watching me
man.
get thrown
All
into
right.
all this stuff.
And the
Oh,
way Reptile looked before he became Reptile. He was like that little CGI gecko
Oh,
looking
that was
thing, and then they
horrible.
threw
Oh,
it in
yeah,
the statue.
now
And
and he
Oh,
became a
yeah.
ninja. Like what? Sentai.
yeah.
All right, let's get into some Metro real quick. I wanna show you guys my awesome. I'm wearing them right now. You guys can't see them. My awesome earrings.
I wanna see this.
Ooh, look at that.
I got them.
Oh.
I got my
Ooh,
Samus
okay.
earrings on. It looks so cool, just like the Super NES. So either way, that's just what I bought. Let me get off of this one, so you guys can see. You guys like it? You guys wear earrings
Yeah.
or not?
I used to.
I do
I-
not.
I used to, but I wouldn't wear those.
Yeah. So yeah, I like them. So if anything, I have been like looking up stuff, and I'm still so super hyped for Metroid Prime 4, but it's looking more like when Retro Studios does any games, it takes about 2 years, 2 to 3 years for them to actually finish a game. And it's already 2 years since they started. When remember somebody else was working on it, and then they canceled them out, and then Retro Studios got back to it. So I'd say we're at the 2-year mark. So I would hope that this year they would at least give us more than that measly trailer that was passed on a while ago, and give us something, anything to show, maybe some outfits to show us a little bit of a story or what's happening. Something like a small little trailer, at least like they did for Link, Zelda, Breath of the Wild 2-ish. So I'm just saying, if anything, if they're building it from the ground up, like an open world kind of thing ish, it'll probably be more like a 2023-24 thing. That's just my kind of like feed on that. But if you guys also heard about the Metroid, a new 2D Metroid game coming out for the Switch.
I heard about something.
I keep hearing more about it. Like it's continuous. It just keeps happening. I'm like, oh shoot, really? So I mean, I'm just excited about that. At least give us something in the process of us waiting for, for that. So that's it for our Metroid news. But let me actually show you guys something else that I wanted to show you. You guys probably saw this on whatchamacallit, Twitter. This is my old what do you guys see?
Yeah.
Okay, you
Zoomed
guys,
in
my
picture
old
of-
I used to have a freaking what do you call that? Fish, what do you call those
Goldfish.
golden fish, like a box. And I
That's
had that was right here was my Wii U
the
box.
Wii U.
I had a book right there just to kind of put my things together. So I finally got this thing right here. It's just one of those holders. It's so cool, and I took the fish box out, but I just think that these things, my dad's like, oh, I was gonna get you one, but I thought it was $300. Are you shitting me, Dad? It's only like $30. It's $30. Some of them are fewer. This one's got a fan on the bottom that connects to here on the side here, so you can
That seems about
fan
right.
your laptop. So for those who have a laptop, it is so convenient. Like I'm of course using it now, and it's just so awesome that I can take the ugly box out, put my things on here, and the PS5 moved over.
It looks a little bit like an ATST.
Yeah,
Dude,
right.
yeah, a
It looks
little
like
bit,
it's
Right.
so
That's what I kept seeing.
So it's
That's-
pretty cool though. I just think you guys, anyone can get it. People keep thinking things are expensive, but they're not. It's some of them are like 24, 25. You find them for clearance. $30 is the most, if anything. So let's see. Where am I going to? Oh, now I do want to talk a little bit about the Intellivision Amico stuff because I'm like super freaking hyped, and yeah, I got a slideshow for you guys. So just something that I can click on a little faster than I used to. But let me click off this one out of the way. And I want to show before I go into the system, I'm actually kind of crazy about these freaking hats and these
I
things.
think I saw that.
Look at the different ones. Like this one, I want to get so
I like
bad.
that one.
That
I
one
like
looks
that
pretty
one.
good.
They
The
got-
red one looked pretty good too.
Yeah.
They got more. Hold on. What the hell? Oh shoot! It stopped. It looks like it just stopped sharing. So well. So you guys saw the best one there.
Yeah.
What's
That
going
one-
on here?
They had some cool colors there. I like that. I
Yeah,
think
but
I
they
saw
had a lot of different
green,
colors.
red.
It was just so cool.
Yeah, the
And-
one before that, I would like the
the
gray
gray
with
and
the
red.
red.
Yeah,
that
red,
looked
red,
pretty cool.
very cool.
Yeah, it was cool. Give me 1 second. I don't want to. It just kind of.
Can I just say when you were like, "Yo, I have some Metroid Prime 4 news," I was like, "Really?" And I looked up. I was like, "I can't find anything." And I was like, "What does he
Nothing.
know?" I was like, "What does he know that I that I don't know?" I was like, "Now I really have to know what the heck is going on." But
It was the awesome earrings, right? That's
yeah,
Nothing. No
Look at
news. Nothing. It
All
was
right.
wishful
Let's see.
thinking
Let's see if
about
this thing
Metroid
doesn't
Prime
shut up
4.
on me. Different hats. Here they go. They're going fast. So that way, before it does something. Oh, there's that
I like the
one.
camo.
There you go.
Camo is nice.
That one. Yeah. So they have a bunch of them. They're pretty.
Red and black.
I don't
is
know.
I like that
I'm-
red and black one.
Yeah.
I'm debating on this one or the blue one.
I go with the blue.
Okay,
Ooh,
this
the
one for
gray
Chi-
was cool,
This
too.
one's
I
for
like the gray.
Chichuki. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, that's
Um,
Yeah,
more-
my red black for me. Yeah,
Yeah, I like this one a
One
lot.
of
red
though.
them-
red's not bad.
The one
Yeah,
of the
that
one
looks
of them
nice.
had
Not
like
bad
a
either.
Dodger blue color to it. If you go back a couple, right there.
Oh yeah, there it was.
there you
Like,
go.
that's that Dodger. That's like I think that's like Dodger blue with the white. That's actually pretty cool. I'm not a Dodgers fan, but
Yeah,
I mean,
Dodger
those are pretty
trash blue.
cool. Can I just say, like, they always
camo.
do so well, and then when they get to the playoffs, they just like choke, like
Those are
every
choke artists.
time. They do so well when they get to the playoffs. It's just like they choke on. Yeah.
And they
Mhm.
and they needed to have almost no fans in the stands to win a World Series. So that's just
I always thought it was funny with, I think it was baseball that was doing it. They were putting the cardboard cutouts of people in the audience.
they
remember
were
that.
they were doing it like way before
anyone else. Yeah.
anybody else this year. That was like,
Mhm.
but it's ridiculous.
And-
They were charging you like $85 to have a cardboard cutout of yourself in the stadium for like 50 games.
Yeah, but if your cardboard cutout
Wow.
got hit by a ball from a home run, you got something from it. I don't remember what it was, but it was
Wow.
yeah, you
That I
got it
didn't
signed,
know.
I think, for the rest. You got it signed by
There
the
we
team
go.
or the person who did the home run, and then they sent it to you.
I do.
Yeah, so
I
I
do
was
like the
doing-
design. It's very simple and elegant.
I was doing a lot of just kind of looking, as you guys see. I made a recent video about what I think on Television Miko is about. About family
Mhm.
kind of thing. The way it just brings. I hope and not that I hope. I know it will bring me and my kids and other people together to play at home and things like that. So the excitement has overwhelmed me a lot. I mean, I know they got like my top 5 games that I want to play all of them. But like for you guys, I don't know if you guys know much about it, but I know you guys learned a lot too with that one time. that these
Oh,
guys
I have a
showed up.
list.
Tommy-
I have
I want to get on get Earthworm Jim.
Yes,
Yeah, that's probably the main one. For
Earthworm
me.
Jim?
Yeah. Same.
it's more like a next year kind of thing. But Astro Smash, I want to play so bad. I want to play the original, but I want to play the new one. It's awesome. Moon Patrol, just like they said before. I was playing it on the Amico Club app, and it's pretty.
That's the one I
Pretty
want.
cool.
Right
Yeah,
there.
that one
That's
actually
very
looks pretty
retro.
Cool.
Yeah, that's
That's
their
cool.
like retro one, right? Because their
Yeah.
original came in that, didn't it? Like
Mhm.
the wood,
like their
grain- yeah.
founders pack was
Yeah.
like the wood grain with some other
Mhm.
stuff.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. It's just amazing. I love the controllers, whether you're lefty or righty kind of thing. The touchscreen, the motion controls, speaker, microphone, the LED lighting around it, even on the system, is pretty amazing. So
LED.
I really like.
So I have a question for you, Switch. Which one are you more excited for? The Intellivision Amico or Metroid Prime 4? I'm putting you on the
For
spot
Nintendo
right now.
Metroid Prime 4. But hold on. Right now, the hype right now is leaning right to Amico because, of course, I know it's coming out sooner, late this year. I know that Metroid Prime 4 is a huge excitement, but it's something that I know it's not coming in time soon. So I can pull my excitement on the side for that a little bit because I know this is coming out and this is what I also want. It's just, I don't know. It's exciting just to see what we can, be
I get
playing
it.
soon.
You
And
like
I
the
guess I got more excited because I think about my kids and
Mm.
other people to play with. And, I was even thinking about maybe even putting my dad up to it or, or see how my mom or, would actually try it out or just to see because a lot of these games anyone can play kind of thing. And so I'm excited with all the things they got coming for us. And oh man, it's just
Yeah.
I mean,
think it's
I'm
really
excited
cool.
for both, of course, but right now the excitement is just spitting off of me. Oh, hey, Keanu Reeves, there he goes.
Keanu holding their Amico. Oh god.
There he is.
Well, you like the Amico more because it actually exists, unlike Metroid Prime 4.
Unlike Metroid,
Yeah.
right?
Mm.
You know,
Yeah.
I try to
That's what I'm
show.
saying. Maybe I get more hyped if I
Oh,
saw something, but they're not
gosh.
giving us nothing. And we got something here that we can look forward to that we know they have for us. So it's just,
Yeah.
but if you guys have you guys tried the Moon Patrol though on the
Yeah, I played it for
How
a
did you-
good
what did you think
15,
of it?
20 minutes. I liked it. It looked great. It played great. I can't wait to play it on the actual system. That's the only game that's on that, right? It's the only game that is.
Yeah, that's where I found the store app when I saw like the hats and all that. So I was like, oh shoot, because like next week, as soon as I get paid, and give me a hat right away.
Yeah, I may get one of those. But one thing that excites me about the Amico is that I've tried over and over again to play retro games with my daughter that I loved when I was a kid, but her eye just can't get into what they look like back then. So she just can't. She can't focus in on it. She's like, "What is this?" So with this, the games that are the remasters that have the modern upgrade for the modern kids who have HD eyes and for some reason pixels are just like ooh gross. I could finally share some of these games with her that she'll understand and look at and be like, okay, I can play this now because it doesn't look like crap. It's going to look good. Crap to her. I still love pixelated games, and I'm sure Atari X is like shooting me laser eyes from behind his sunglasses right now for even saying that.
Yeah, but still, yeah. I mean, I think that the controller definitely intrigues anyone, and just it looks amazing and it's different than what we normally used to. But I think that anyone will enjoy it. Like I said, if I bring it, I know my son plays PS5 and all that stuff, but I can tell you right now, I'll be playing with my kids with this. Believe it. And I know it. And I'm sure, I hope, everything work well with you, Awaken, anyone else, kids and family. It's going to be great. And I hope that everyone does eventually, get one and hopefully comes out, whether if not April or late summer. So, man, if I hope you guys are, I encourage you guys to make, we're still working on the collaboration to keep making videos on, Amico. I still got more coming. I know Atari X has got one. I know you got some Awaken. Any other guys want to? I got some guys working on music. They want to do something. One guy's looking into the games. He's really familiar with it, so he's trying to do something with his electric guitar. Trying to do something for like he also wants to do a live performance for us. We're working on it. That's James Leiter. So I'm hoping that he comes up with something that he's looking into with the Television Amico music or what he's seen in the games and do some combination of cool stuff. So, I mean, I'm just super excited.
I really like his music too. I think that'll go well with, if he wants to do something from these games because, he's got a lot of Zelda, he's got a Star Fox, he's got Mario, but, to go back and do some like really old school and make it kind of, guitar rock like he does. I think that.
Oh yeah, man, it would be good. I'm excited to see what he has for Television Amico, or some of the old games or things like that too. But still, let me see. Do I got anything else to mention? No, that's pretty much just to put out the excitement that I still have for this. This is something for this year. I don't mind. I got that what is it? Super Mario 3D World in February. But I'm gonna play it, enjoy it. Some of you guys too, but I think I'm gonna still, be leaning out towards this Amico a lot more for this whole year, especially with the kids and whoever I'm going to be with and things like that. Hopefully, you guys too. So, you guys have any thoughts on this before I finish this off?
Shark. That's a thought right there. Shark. I remember playing Shark at a friend's house back in the day. Yeah, and just seeing some of the views of it. It's right here in the upper.
Hey, Tommy's he's in the chat. You guys say what's up to Tommy.
Oh, awesome. What's going on, Tommy?
What's up, Tommy?
I know I saw him. I just didn't I didn't look at. I saw Tom. I'm like, okay, but I didn't like see the last name on there, and I was like, oh snap, that's Tommy there.
What's up, Tommy?
Hey, Tommy.
I'm telling you, man, this is exciting. This is just too exciting. That we have. I enjoyed the presentation. That when we had these guys, Phil Adams and Tommy, join us, and I hope to have them soon later on. Maybe in like another month or two, and just to kind of go over some of their games and things like that, get more into details and when they're ready. But man, like I said,
Warlords. Did you guys ever play Warlords for back in the day for Atari?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, with the little tourney controllers, and you had to protect your castle and whatnot. Oh, I love that, and I cannot wait to get my hands on that and play
this
it.
One.
Which one are you pointing at?
Oh, hold on. Oh, you like this one?
Yeah, I heard Florida.
That's what I like.
Anyone like any of the other colors, or you guys like mostly the white or the
I like red. No, I gotta go retro.
I like the red.
I
do like the retro one too.
I like the wood grain,
like
man.
I feel like
I gotta go with the wood grain.
Oh, I know, Tommy. I'm definitely I'm gonna play that. I want to play so many of these games because they're so. I mean, they're affordable. I mean, it's not like any of the games are a major purchase or a financial burden. You could buy 10 games on a paycheck and like you were saying, it's been
I know it is extremely
25 minutes on it and then go to the next one. $2.99, $9.99. Whatever. You get some Warlords, get some Shark, get some Demon Attack is another one that I'm excited to play. There's another one that I was is Yours Revenge going to be on there?
Wait, hold on, let me go back. Let me see.
I do want to mention something that Waken said, that that this does bring a new light to all the retro games that were on the older consoles, because like you said, a lot of the younger kids will look at it like, okay, what am I looking at, this pixel? But when you see them here, like these nice HD reimagined games, it will not just they'll look at it and, oh, this looks cool, and then they'll play and they'll just enjoy them as much as we did when we played them back in the day. So I think that's when you mentioned that and I saw Shark, I'm like, oh, I don't think Shark looked like that.
No, it didn't. Not at all. Not at all.
But
it looks great on that.
I think it's I think it's cool that they're not just bringing them over, but they're literally building them back to make them
absolutely
more they look really good.
Yeah,
and Tommy just said Shark comes free with the system.
Oh, nice.
Hey, it's cool. I was having a conversation, kind of back and forth with someone. The video that I made the other day about my, what Intellivision means to me, and talking to a guy who just, was very, it's just, it wasn't supportive as he should be, but I wish he would. But the guy was talking about, I'm going to get an Atari VCS and Poly Mega. Yeah, and I'm like, it's just like each of those systems are $400 each. Mm-hmm. And go ahead. I mean, you want to try to talk doo-doo about, whatever with the Intellivision AMICO, but you rather go buy that. I mean, go for it. We're, like I said, this is very affordable and it's going to be a great system and it's going to be amazing regardless. Mm-hmm. I'm just saying, just the value of all the games and
the controller alone itself too.
I love that.
All the stuff they could do. It's going to be, it's super cool. The touchscreen capabilities, the moving, you could turn, play it like a one way or the other.
You can run over it in your car; it won't break, and throw it
Run
across
over
the
it.
room.
Oh yeah,
Throw it
that's
across
nice.
the room. How many people have broken controllers throwing them across the room?
I think Chichuki has one in his wall somewhere. I think it's a Super Nintendo.
I've never actually thrown a controller across the room. I have
Intentionally.
broken a control. No, that's not intentional or not.
Not
I have thrown
intentionally.
one down and have broken it, but not thrown it
Oh,
across
man.
the room.
Yeah,
All right, guys, that's it. I mean, for my part, and it's like I said, I hope you guys are excited as I am. I can't wait
I'm
to
very
change my
excited.
hat really soon. Get that Amico hat. So
Should I change this one?
yeah, you're gonna change that one. I'm just gonna have to get you one too. Change that hat. No. That's your thing, man. That's your thing. You gotta appreciate what you love, whether it's
Right.
Nintendo or Atari and everything else that we love, but I also love, what I support too. So all right.
you could wear multiple hats. Just keep
Yeah, put two-
stacking them.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah,
sick
stick your
of
hats
that.
on. Don't turn your hat to the side. Don't do that. No, see, backwards is fine. Sideways.
Yeah, I don't
like
want-
you're. Yeah.
Total.
Yeah.
I'm not
Oh my
going to.
gosh. Oh man.
So, does anybody have anything else to talk
No,
about, or are we gonna wrap
no,
wrap this up?
I'm good, man. We had a
I'm
nice
good.
conversation here.
I'm good. Like I said. Oh, sorry.
Oh no, I'm done.
Oh, I was gonna say my computer crashed today, and I got to re-download and reconfigure and reimagine and so many things, and I want to do it all right now. That's probably going to take me till 2-3 o'clock in the morning anyway. So
Oh, man.
Windows updates.
Mhm.
well, that's what
a pain.
that's what killed it. Yeah, I had a Windows update, and it turned the screen black, and I couldn't reboot it, so I had to go into BIOS. At first, I tried to do the auto mode, where you turn it off 3 times and turn it back on, and it's supposed to go into
Mhm.
repair mode, and that never
think
happened. So
You can hit F11, I think, right before, right when you see it say Windows or whatever, it'll just put itself into. You'll go into the BIOS, and you can be able to do everything there.
exactly, that's what I eventually did. I was
That crashes your computer faster if you
defeated.
touch F11.
yeah, it was so bad. Like everything was gone. Everything. I don't have any of my pictures. I don't know how much I'm gonna have to do on OBS to make my stream look anything like
Oh,
it did
man.
before.
Oh, that's
Just
terrible.
gonna have to go through and find it all again.
You just assume you're gonna have to do everything because that's usually what
Everything.
happens on these crashes.
Everything.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Oh,
guys, hold on.
Alrighty.
Give me one sec, guys. Uno momento. For those who are watching, stay tuned for just a second. I'm just doing a few things here. Get that out of the way. Let me get everyone here. And let's keep on the conversation going. Let's for a little bit more. I'm gonna let you guys in with someone awesome.
Oh,
Oh, you
look
got
Oh,
zombie in.
awesome.
Oh, look at you.
Ooh.
Let's
I was like, I
invite-
feel like he's bringing somebody in. That's what I felt like. He was bringing somebody in. I was like, wait, hold on. A few more
we got to
seconds.
keep the excitement going.
What's going
What's
on?
going on?
How you doing?
Tommy,
Getting him in right now.
Yo,
Oh, there we go.
Hey.
What's
hey,
happening?
surprise.
How you doing? We can't see you yet.
Awesome surprise.
Oh, shoot.
Yeah, no picture yet. Oh, wait.
There we go.
There we go.
Oh,
I saw
Oh,
you
yeah.
guys, Mr. Switch, he sent
There
me
you
the
are.
link on Messenger. And he's like, hey, check this out. And so I hit the link and it's like I saw Amico hats everywhere. So I messaged him back. I'm like, tap me in, brother. I got to meet Chichuki or what the hell? How do you say that name?
You said it right. It's
Yeah, he
Chichuki.
said it
you got it
right.
right.
Hey, all right.
Damn.
I like it. Because you weren't on the last stream, right?
No, I couldn't make the last one.
Right. So, I mean, I know Atari X, of course. We got to get him an Intellivision hat, by the way. KOTETSU in the house, Awake and
What's going
Bacon,
on?
of course. So, yeah, I'm seeing Chichuki for the first
Yep,
time.
nice. Pleasure.
Where you reside?
I'm in New Jersey.
Oh, Jersey boy. Nice. Very cool. You Yankees or Mets?
I'm a Mets fan.
Oh, well.
Yeah, well, we'll fix that. We'll make it up.
I guess you're Giants or Jets too.
I'm a
right?
Jets fan too.
Yeah, Jets and Mets. I'm Yankees, but that's okay. We can still be friends.
Yeah, we can still talk.
So you guys got any questions? I heard you talking about it. You're excited about it, which is really cool. Any questions? Any new questions? I guess. Well, Chichuki, yes, Chichuki. We didn't talk last time, so let me know if you have any questions.
Oh, definitely.
A Night Stalker shirt on, old school, with my
Hey,
dog.
There we go.
You know what? This is unrelated. Are you ever going to do another video games live?
Yeah,
Or
yeah,
anything like
yeah.
that?
That's a great question. So, you know, when I started the whole Intellivision revival thing, you know, before that, I was doing about 40, anywhere from 30 to 50 shows a year for the last 17 years. Video games live, going all over the world. I mean, we'd spend 6 weeks in China. We'd play Red Rocks in Colorado one night, and then we were on a plane to Australia the next day, and then Germany for 2 weeks after that. So it was, you know, I lived 250 days a year on the road with video games live for about 15, 16 years.
Nice.
And then when Intellivision thing happened, I said, okay, well, I'm going to just start doing the shows on weekends now, you know. So, and Intellivision is right near the John Wayne Airport, Orange County Airport. And so I'd leave Intellivision at like 5 o'clock at night, you know, take an Uber to the airport, you know, fly to wherever we were flying in the US or Canada. And then we'd set up in the morning, start loading in at 8 in the morning, get this shit up by 12 noon, break for lunch, start rehearsing with the orchestra, then do all the press and media. Show starts at 7, do the show, then go for like 3 hours, and then go into the front lobby, do the meet and greet, do all the signatures, meet and greet line for about 3-4 hours. It's like 1, 2 in the morning, go back to the hotel for like 3 hours, get up at 6, get back on a plane. And then I was back home Sunday morning. So
wow.
I did that for like the first 2 years of Intellivision. And then when COVID hit, we had like, I don't know, like 20 shows scheduled for 2020. We did like 2 or 3. Like we played in Doha, Qatar, in the Middle East. We played a show in Texas. So we were starting to play shows. And again, these are like weekend deals. I mean, the Middle East show was, you know, I left on a Thursday instead of a Friday. And then COVID hit, and then everything got, you know, canceled or rescheduled and or on hold. And then like in the summertime, people were like, oh, you know what, you know, this thing will probably be over by the end of the year. And then we'll start booking in 2021. And then as the year kind of continued, and like by the fall, like all the orchestras and promoters and venues were like, man, this ain't coming back in like January or February. So because we had pushed a bunch of those shows into Q1, like we had a show scheduled for January 2nd in Salt Lake City with the Utah Orchestra, the Utah Symphony, a place we've played like 7 or 8 times in the past. And that was supposed to happen on January 2nd. And then as we got closer and closer, as the fall hit and it was getting worse, not better, everything just got, you know, canceled or like pushed in. So now we're starting to book shows for 2022. That's how far out the touring industry is now, because they're kind of, a lot of folks are just writing off 2021 already. So it's kind of depressing, but you know, it'll be interesting though, because I think when it comes back, when the live show industry comes back, I think it's going to come back big. You know, it's going to.
Oh yeah,
it's
people are going to want to just
in GameStop stock.
It is. I mean, it's just like a champagne bottle. We're going to want to burst out the top and get out of our houses. Because I was just saying earlier, it's like I miss concerts. I miss going to shows and comedy clubs. I used to do all that stuff, you know. And I was lucky enough to have a little run of going to about 3 or 4 shows. I went to like 2 concerts, a couple wrestling shows, and a comedy show. between February and March. And then once March hit, man, we were stuck in our houses. And
yeah, our last show was in March. We had a show in like late February, early March, and that was it. That was our last, and we had no idea. Little did we know, right? Have any of you guys ever been to Video Games Live yet?
No, but I'm sure I would love it.
Yeah, I was going to say for Chichuki, we've played the NJ Pack a ton of times. So where are you towards?
I'm in northern New Jersey. The Performing Arts Center is like right in my backyard.
Yeah. I mean, we've done sold out shows there probably 6 or 7 times. It's cool because the woman who created the original Castlevania music when she was 17 years old in Japan, she's a good friend of mine. She now lives, she moved from Japan, got married, and she lives in Jersey.
Okay,
so
cool.
Every time that we've played the NJ Pack with the New Jersey Symphony, she comes out on stage and we like open with Castlevania, and like I'm on guitar and she's on keyboard and piano and on the pipe organ. It's so cool.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Nice.
Didn't you say
are
you've been
you guys in Jersey?
Oh no, I'm in
No,
Birmingham, Alabama.
I'm the only Jersey boy.
Okay, yeah, that's right. We talked. Yeah, we've played Birmingham twice. Yeah.
What was the last show in Birmingham?
Let me see. If I go to videogameslive.com, let's see here. We actually have every single show we've ever done because we hold the Guinness World Record for the longest and most shows ever done by a touring symphony show. Wow. And so if you go on our tour dates page, it literally lists all 550 whatever shows that we've done. So if I go and I do a find, and let me see, Birmingham, we played October 9th, 2008 at the Jefferson Convention Complex. So that was a long time ago. That was 12 years ago. And then we played in 2019.
Wow, I would have loved to have caught that. 2008. I moved down here in November of 2007, so I was fresh.
Yeah, we played February 8th, 2019 at the BJCC. I guess that's the same thing. Concert Hall, Alabama Symphony. Yeah.
Oh man.
We'll be back.
Please.
I do have one question for you, Tommy, about the AMICO. I know you have a lot of games that are coming back to the AMICO. I don't know if you've answered this question already. Do you guys have any projects that you guys are coming for your own, like say like just like anything that you guys are developing like in the works that's not something that's coming back, but something that you guys are like your own games that you're developing for? Okay.
Yeah, we got a lot of stuff. In fact, so when we talk about like the software, the games that we create for AMICO, I basically break them into 5 categories. One being sports and recreation, right? So not just like we have the Major League Baseball license, American Cornhole League license. So not only professional sports like basketball, soccer, tennis, whatever, but also recreational sports like cornhole or pool or skiing or darts, so that's 20%, right? So if we break it into 5 categories, 20% each. So sports is one, sports and recreation. Number 2 is like kind of like casual, like board games, card games, dice games, word games, right? So you might have seen some of our demos where we'll have like, you can see the controller, you have the dice on the controller, and you shake the controller, you get the screen, and you throw it up on the screen. Or card games where you can see everybody can see their cards but nobody else, so you can kind of pick that. So that's a category. Casual, that's 2. Number 3 is children's and edutainment. So again, we have Sesame Street license, we have the Care Bears license. So really going for that, 4 to 7 year old crowd. If you include the United States or all of North America and Europe, there's over 65 million households that have kids that are 7 and under. right? And so when we talk to our retailers like Walmart and Best Buy and GameStop, Amazon, they'll all tell you, like, like a mom will walk into a GameStop in a mall during the day, right? Who's shopping in malls between like 9 in the morning and 3 in the afternoon? It's moms with little kids, right?
Mhm.
And they walk, and a lot of them just avoid GameStop because they don't feel like there's anything in there for them. But the times they do walk into GameStop, and again, think of a mom with like a 4-year-old, and she walks up to the counter and says, "Hey, do you have anything for my 4 or 5-year-old?" And the people behind the counter are like, "We don't." No, because most children's edutainment has now gone solo on like tablets and mobile, right? But
Mhm.
what's the problem with mobile is that it's all solitary. And so parents, their number one concern is that they give their kids too much alone screen time. That's the number one thing. And the number two thing, that's the number two thing. The number one thing for young parents is that they wish they could spend more time with their kids, like
Mhm.
playing and doing activities stuff. AMICO takes care of both those problems. So that's a big deal, is that the way we're approaching the industry is hyper casual families, getting them together to play because they can't play on this. This is very solitary, right? But we got all games for guys like you too, for more of the hardcore gamers like me and you, the Night Stalkers, the Astro Smashes, the Yar's Revenge you guys mentioned, and Warlords, and those are really super fun games too. So that's the third category. Fourth category is retro reimagined. So that's all the stuff that we were just talking about.
Yeah.
All the old Intellivision games. We got 12 of Atari's games there. And the kind of fun thing is that not only do we get all of 12 Atari's biggest licenses, from Pong to Centipede to Tempest to Breakout, Missile Command, Yar's Revenge, Warlords, Adventure, you name it, we got it. And we are the ones doing exclusive. So our versions of all those games, Centipede, they're all exclusive only to AMICO. You won't be able to play them anywhere else. So, and then things like Burger Time, and you guys were mentioning Moon Patrol earlier. All that kind of retro reimagined stuff, Bump and Jump, if you remember that one.
Mhm.
So that's a category. And then the fifth category is more towards your question, which was, we call it original IPs. So these are all games that are built from the ground up that no one's ever seen or played before, that really utilize the controller. And where's the other controller here? We got, this is here's one of the wood grain ones, but it's missing the disc. It's just a casing. But we got, I know you guys don't pay attention to the brown stuff. This is just, the brown stuff is just plastic placeholder, but that's what the wood grain, actually it's showing up red with my camera, but it's actually more brown.
Yeah, we can see it.
Yeah, we can see
Yeah,
that.
we can see that, bro.
Yeah. Let me see. I got like a purple one here too. You can't really tell, but this is like a really tight. This is going to be silver. This is gray on this version, but this is like a metallic as well. So you can't really see it, but it's really sweet. And the red one is, you can see the red one up.
Okay. Is that sitting? Okay, I see it. Yeah.
I got it like sitting up there. But so the original IPs, so we're creating a whole bunch of stuff that no one's ever seen or played before. A good example of that is a game called Back Tardy. And it's a game that were designed together, really super fun. It tests off the so we have a bunch of completely original stuff as well.
There's a little bit for everybody going on there. And you brought up going back to the retro reimagined adventure. I didn't know that you were making a retro
Yeah.
reimagine of adventure.
We haven't started that one yet, but we license.
Oh, okay. That'll be cool. That'll be interesting.
I can't
I think
wait.
I think the one thing I'm really interested in seeing how it plays is Earthworm Jim. Like we saw a little
Yes.
demo of him running back and forth, but to see like exactly what you can do with the AMICO controller is something that I'm really excited to see.
I'm
what
glad
you
you
guys
brought
do.
that up because we're designing that game around the controller. You know, like you're able to play Earthworm Jim on the Switch or Xbox or anything. You won't be able to because having the screen, having the gyroscope, having the accelerometer, having the speaker and the microphone and like all of that combined, and having the LED lights on the ring of the disc, on the buttons, on the side and stuff. Yeah, we're literally designing the game around those things because it's so unique and so fun, and it's going to be multiplayer, and it's going to be a game like no one's ever seen or played before. That's for damn sure. I would actually put that under our original IP category, right?
Yeah, definitely hearing you say that is it's always a thing where it's like mentioning when you mentioned with playing on any other console, it's like you guys are intentionally saying, okay, this is our controller and this is how can we take advantage of this game with this controller. And everything is, the controller isn't just like, okay, you can play like this and that's it. You're saying, okay, well, we have our gyro, what can we do with that? We have
Right.
our touchscreen, what can we do with,
What
how
can
can we
with
make
that?
the
The
experience?
lights? Yeah.
Yeah,
So that's it's really, I mean, that's exactly because the reality is that most joysticks and controllers, you look at the Xbox, PlayStation, even the Nintendo Switch for the most part, like you once you put it, it's dual analog shoulder buttons, the Atari VCS, they have the joystick one, which but the the other controllers more, the Google Stadia, the same kind of thing. So, we didn't really want to, but most people, remember, there's 3.1 billion gamers in the world, and they're playing this. Only 200 million people are playing consoles, right? So a lot of people are used to this, but it doesn't have the tactile feedback that you like to see. So we kind of just combine the best of both worlds, right? You got that touchscreen ease of use, the disc. I can't wait. One of the things I'm most excited about is when people first play on that disc for the first time. You have no idea, guys, what's coming. I mean, it is so silky smooth. It just feels right. And so many people who have played our games with the disc, like a game like Shark or skiing, right?
Oh, skiing,
they go like, I couldn't, like, this is better than an analog stick. This is better than a D-pad, right? Because think about it, when you're skiing down, right, and you're going like from left to right and things. Remember, analog sticks are always fighting you because they're trying to pull back to the center at all times, right? The second if your finger slips off or if something happens, boom, it goes back to center. Remember, you guys remember like when back in the day, you'd play a first-person shooter on a PC, right? It was keyboard and mouse, and I'm still keyboard and mouse guy. Remember that first time you picked up the dual analog controller and we're trying to like figure out playing a first-person shooter, and it was all kind of like awkward, and you're like, this kind of doesn't make sense. Or even like a driving game, like driving games with the analog stick, and it was just, I don't know, I just never got used to it really. I mean, you do eventually, but there's my dog. Who did he? Okay. But with the disc, it just feels really right and good. And you know, because you're sliding it and it's smooth. I don't know. People, when the thing that surprises a lot of people when they see the screen, it's like, oh wow, that's cool. But then when they start to move the disc, it just feels it's so easy and it feels so right. And it's something I could talk about for the next couple hours, but until you get it in your hand and feel it, within 2 seconds, you're like, holy crap, why didn't anyone do discs over the last 40 years, you know?
Right.
That's
right.
a good question, because
That's a very good question.
it seems like back in the 70s and 80s with some of the Atari and the old Intellivision controllers, that's what they were going for. They had those discs.
Well, you know, the Intellivision was the very first one to do that. And because before it was either the Atari joystick with the one button, or in the arcades, you had the joysticks, or you had the spinners. You know, you had the spinners for like Pong, or you had the roller ball, right? Mm-hmm. So Intellivision was the very first people to do a directional pad, you know, first time. And here's the crazy thing, guys. When we first did that was 1979, it was 16 directions. So it was a 16 direction pad. Now, our new disc is 64 directions. So that's crazy. But here's the crazy part. When Nintendo, like the NES came out, or the Famicom came out like in 83, and it came to the US in 84, 85, so the directional pad went away from the disc, because like I said, we had the patent. So they made this, you know, kind of the cross, right? Well, the cross, the D-pad, were only ever 8 positions. And even still today, on the PlayStation, Xbox, all that stuff, the D-pads are 8 positions. So it's kind of crazy. So they kind of went backwards from 16 directions backwards, because the way the technology in a D-pad works is you have up, down, left, right. And then when you hit diagonal, let's say you're hitting up and to the left at the same time, it's hitting those 2 buttons at the same time internally. So it knows, oh, that means we go diagonal, because 2 buttons are being pressed at the same time. Mm-hmm. That's how that technology works. But our disc, what we did is we're combining analog and digital together. So the way the internals work is there's a disc, and then there's like it's almost like a rubber conductive ring underneath it, which we designed, we did all the engineering on. And then when you, it's on a pivot, right? And you can spin the disc as well. But when you, and it's on a spring. So when it reaches down and it hits the connection, instead of having 4 connections like a D-pad, we actually have 32 connections. And so when that ring hits in between 2 of those connections, we know that's in between those 2. So that's the diagonal, and that's how we get the 64 direction. But wait, there's more. I'm the Shamu guy or whatever. The crazy part is, what we also designed is that the harder you press down, that rubber now starts to spread across multiple finer points. Remember those 32 I talked about? And so we know that if you press down harder and it spreads, we know that you're applying more pressure. So now the disc is now pressure sensitive as well. So not only do you have 64, but the harder you press down, the faster you can go in skiing, or the faster you can zip across the screen and Astro Smash, or, et cetera, et cetera. So not only is the disc 64 positions, silky smooth, but it's also pressure sensitive as well. Very cool. And it has LEDs all around it.
I think so.
Well, that's awesome too, which is, and the pressure sensitivity is great, because how many times has your thumb gone numb on a 8 direction cross, pad where you're pushing on so hard, it's not making a damn difference.
But nothing is happening. Yeah. Yeah, not on AMICO. When you press harder, it's going to go harder.
That's really
Nice.
awesome.
Yeah. I'm definitely getting one. I'm excited
That's really
about
awesome.
this.
Sold.
Do you guys have any other questions for Tommy?
Awesome.
Oh,
Well, thanks
man.
for having me, guys. I appreciate it. I saw.
It
Oh,
was
nice.
definitely a
Saw a little,
surprise. Definitely an awesome surprise.
I got the message from Mr. Switch. I'm like, oh, wondering if they're still on, and I clicked over. You're on. So he said, hey, come on in, join the fun. We'll surprise everyone. So.
Oh yeah, man.
Yeah,
It's always fun
definitely.
talking to
Definitely.
you.
Awesome, guys. Well, I got to get back to work. I'm actually working on. I'm working on two things right now. Well, three things actually. I'm working on our Intellivision Spades game. It's a card, a card game. So we're working on some of like the tutorial and game modes that we're kind of finalizing on that. Because most of our games are like 90 to 100% done. I'm working on that, and then also working on skiing, some final touches on skiing for design. And because I'm mostly, I think like 90% of the games, I'm actually the designer and producer on a lot of them, or co-designer at least on all of them. And then the third thing I'm working on is the audio for our Dyna Blasters game, which is basically Bomberman in Europe.
I'm sold. I'm sold.
Yeah, right.
Sounds pretty
Yeah,
cool.
so I'm
I'm
doing the
sold.
sounds for that. We're doing the sound effects and some of the music stuff. So yeah, it's crazy. I like switching from project to project to project, and I work 20 hours a day because I just
Damn.
love it so much,
Absolutely.
Cool.
I'm like looking at this right now and I said this to Awaken earlier, where the fact that you guys are reimagining it to making them look just crisp and just appealing. And I'm looking at Dyna Blaster and I'm like imagining it on the AMICO. I'm like, yo, me and my family, we played Bomberman and we had some crazy, it was all out fun. So now we have it on here. It's gonna be awesome.
I can't wait for you to play the co-op mode too. You can play 4-player co-op, and where you're going around and everybody's a different color. And so your controllers light up the color of your player. So you always know who's red, who's blue, who's green. You just have to look at your friend's controller to know who they are, which is super cool, right? Wow. And then you go around and you're trying to blow up the crates or whatever to reveal a key, and which is all different colors. And so it's a co-op mode. So you're not trying to blow each other up for this mode. You're trying to like help your buddies, like, oh, hey, your blue key's over here. I'll cover for you. Because there's other people trying to get you. There's the AI is trying to get you as well. So, you're setting picks and stuff for your buddies to go get the key. And then you all have to collect the key to get out of the level. So that sounds really fun.
Gosh, I go Tetsu, go find you a video of Shark from back in like 81, whenever that game came out, and then put it next to what we're looking at when we look at the trailer for it on the website. Like, did
you guys see the squad video today?
No,
Which one?
A bomb squad. Yeah, go.
Oh yeah, I saw it. Yeah.
Yeah. Make sure you subscribe to our Intellivision YouTube channel, because we're going to be putting out a whole bunch of gameplay videos over the next couple of weeks. But we put out this Bomb Squad trail because we're going to be showing some Bomb Squad footage. So this was something from our announcement that we did last year, but we never put it out separately. So we put this out today, and then you're going to see some Bomb Squad game footage. It's so much.
Yeah. So for those who are watching, and for you guys too, every time we do the podcast, anytime Time Tallarico's and all his information is there. Again, there's links. Also, the Intellivision YouTube channel is always in our description, always on top. So you guys can always find that. Check out that video. I saw it was pretty good.
So yeah, this Bomb Squad is kind of like a combination between like Twister meets an escape room.
Oh wow.
Yeah, everybody's like trying to. You have to work together to defeat, but you're using on the controllers and you're communicating. Someone has something on their screen and they have to communicate it to somebody else, and then they have to communicate that to somebody, and then like at some point you have to position all your in a sequence that we tell you that's color combined. Once that happens, the screen reveals a thing that, a hint in order to like which wires to cut, and you all have to cut the same. Blue player have to cut wire, yellow player you collect the green, red player you collect it. Wait, what? And you're getting all these, okay, and we put it on the count. Okay, wait, 3, 2, 1 or 1, 2, 3 go, or what? No, 2, 3 go, everybody. And then you have to cut because the buttons are all colors or has different hit this part of the disc. Everybody's got stuff, and you're like, oh, you communicate. I've never seen a game like this ever. I'd actually put that one in original IP as well, even though it's technically retro reimagined. No, to this extent, has been done. There's been some like bomb exploding type games, but nothing like this. It's really cool. I can't wait. It's going to be it's coming out on launch too. It's going to be one of our big titles.
Really? That sounds like a blast. Like me and my wife and my daughter.
See what you did there. It sounds like a blast.
A blast.
That's going to be our marketing campaign. Get Bomb Squad. It's
It's a blast.
Pretty
awesome.
good.
Oh yeah, so check out the Bomb Squad video. It's really funny too.
I'm gonna go.
We just
check it out.
We just put it
Yeah,
out today.
It was watch to the end.
Yeah, watch to the end for sure. Awesome, guys. All right, appreciate you guys.
Of course,
Tommy.
Nice seeing you again.
Guys.
Thank you.
You
rock on. We'll pop in some other time for sure.
Awesome.
Thank you. Thank you.
Cool.
Right.
That was fun.
Yeah, that was pretty.
Yeah.
That was a good reason to extend.
Yeah,
he's such an excited guy. He's just like he's excited about what's going on, and it makes you excited about what's going on because it's worth being excited about. I'm sitting here looking at the pre-orders right now, and it's like $100 deposit. I might be able to do that right now. When are these things coming out? I need one.
Oh man.
Yeah, make sure you get just get one. Hopefully we could later, maybe hopefully by summer, we'll have one and we can enjoy it. And in the meantime, let's push it. Let's push. When you get the chance, or if you want to make a video on it, or we can put it on blast on YouTube and things like that. So it'll be fun.
That's the thing. Also, all the stuff that I had kind of in the works is gone. So I'm having to start over.
After talking to him.
Yeah. I'm having the computer thing. So I'm having to start over with everything. So.
Oh man.
Computers, right? Can't live with them. Can't live without them.
Anyone got topics? Or we're good? Chichuki?
No, I think we're good.
Got it.
I think this is the first time hold on, let me see how long we've been on.
I think I was like an hour 10.
2 hours.
This has been about 2 hours.
2
2 hours and 17 minutes.
Yeah.
Wow.
Hey.
Yeah, that was our world record. But for us, we've never been this long, but it was worth it. Having a nice, good conversation. Chill. We had Chichuki all dressed up, looking fancy on the thumbnail.
Why wouldn't Tommy want to pop in on this show? Because he saw me looking fly.
Looking good on that.
So,
oh man.
All right. Well, go ahead, Chichuki.
Yeah, I guess we got to wrap up. We got to call tonight's episode an episode.
Mm-hmm.
We got to thank Tommy Tallarico for popping in,
yes,
chatting with us about the AMICO. I think we're all looking forward to that now. We've got to thank everyone as always. Atari X.
Thanks for having me on.
Kotetsu.
Yes, thank you guys for letting me do my mini rants. You'll see a full one soon.
I love your
full
rants.
rant soon.
Well, now we got to look. Now you got to come back next week to see another Kotetsu rant.
Yeah, exactly.
Awaken Bacon.
I love you guys.
As always, Mr. Switch.
Thank you guys. Always a pleasure to have everyone on here. All of us being together. So
Yeah.
Now, what time are we coming on next week? Just so
next
everyone
week,
knows.
I'm gonna try to do something real quick. KOTETSU told me that him and Ellie were talking. Our new member, she'll be with us next week. About doing like a calendar thing where you guys can all view everything that's happening. So I'll talk to KOTETSU more about it tomorrow. I'm just trying to figure out a way. So whatever I have, it's because I got my calendar here of things, and I got one there. But so you guys can all see it and you're on your own and check, what's coming up, kind of thing. The kind of, But next week we have let me go to February. 5th, we got Craig Stitt. That's going to be hosted by Awaken Bacon. So we'll get some more information on him. We had him before. He was awesome. He was a blast. And he wants to know if anyone has any questions, so I can send it to him so that we can prepare. If anyone wasn't there last time, check out that video so that we don't maybe ask too many of the same questions, so we can just have a good time with him, because he's a great artist and a great designer of what he's done back in his retro days too, because he's designed a lot of things from Sonic 2, lead designer, senior designer of Spyro. So he's gonna be next week, and kind of thing. So it'll be fun. That's for next week, 7:30, same time. And then the week after that is the 13th, is a Saturday. That's when we have our Leaf Tilden, the Ninja Turtles actor that was in the suit of the
He was
original
Donatello,
movie.
right?
Yeah, Donatello.
Yeah.
He was Donatello in
Donnie.
those movies. But let's get back to the 5th. That's what we got coming. And then the 5th on Friday next week. So other than that,
Awesome. Looking
Alrighty.
forward to it.
Sounds like a good time.
Everybody make sure you come back next week.
Oh yeah.
And it's been, what is this, number 49?
yeah, next week will be 50.
Number 50. Big
What?
Wow.
Special number 50.
For real, man. That's crazy.
Yeah, maybe when they start, I'll host.
Man, that should have been our longest show. The 50, not the 49.
Not the 49.
We kind of shot our shot a little
3-hour
early.
special next week.
Let's see what happens.
All right.
Well, we're going to call it a night. I'm Chichuki, but you all know that. And this is the Gamers Realm podcast.
All right. See you guys all next time.
See you later.
Night.
Take care, guys.
Night, guys.
Okay, we are off now. We are not